Hello and welcome back or welcome to the Rogue Hunters podcast, episode 40. We've got a good week this week. We've got a few topics to discuss, some interesting things. I am joined this week just with the Waves
Hello.
and I'm Snickle, I think. Um
You are icky snicky.
Yeah, the icky snicky. Yeah, so we've got some good topics to discuss. We've got some new studio acquisitions, some reversing of some things, and then a new PlayStation 5 model, which funny I've been hearing about all this stuff. People can't even get regular PS5s and they're already coming out with V2, so cool. But do your thing, Sony. But but any articles that we do discuss will all be linked down in the description below. There will be timestamps and everything, so you can kind of fast forward or go through whatever section you want to listen to if you're strapped for time. Also, in the description below, you'll find links to all of our social medias, Twitters, Twitches, YouTubes, things like that. So if you want to go follow us on any of those or tweet at us for any reason, all that stuff is all linked down below. And if you have any topics that you want us to discuss in upcoming episodes of the podcast, you can, again, get in contact with us anywhere on any of the social medias other than probably PlayStation Network messaging. And we can review the topic and talk about it in upcoming episodes.
Do you say that because people have messaged you before? Or?
No, well, yes, but no, but like kind of. The only reason I say it is because I've heard people say like, oh, well, only message me on PSN. Like, I'm not going to reply to you through Twitter. And I'm like, what? That fucking doesn't even make sense. Like, why would you, why would you be paying attention to your PlayStation message? I have my messages turned off on my PlayStation. Like,
I have it where only my friends can send me stuff.
well, like I have messages. I think I have it set up that way where only friends can message, but I also have it set up where like I don't even get a notification when I get a message. Just because, like, I don't know, I'm not like worried about getting messages. So, whatever.
Yeah, I think I turned it off when. Do you remember that thing that happened like a couple years back where some random like PlayStation account was sending like this message to PS4s and it would brick your PS4 if you turned it on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's when I turned it off, and I just haven't turned it on back on since.
Yeah, I've had mine turned off like at like a long time in the PS4 life cycle. Part of it is for that reason. Part of it is um not really as much anymore, but like remember when you would used to get like spam email or spam like messages?
Yeah, I got those more on PS3 than PS4 though.
I mean, they were funny, but like I didn't want to see them anymore. I was sick and tired of them, but yeah.
I remember the Kevin Butler one.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
That one was great.
Yeah, because that's where he would be messaging you through PSN. That's PSN is the most important messaging system out there. So that's where you're gonna get your messages from. No, but if you want to get
like, hey, PlayStation Nation,
yeah,
Sony is trying to make you pay for online. Please share this message with other people.
Yeah, please share this message with your friend group, and it's like, okay, like, cool. But yeah, if you want to get in contact with us anywhere, preferably Twitter, Discord, whatever works. Anything other than PSN messaging, and we'll be there. So with that out of the way, I think that's the first time we've ever rambled in the introduction.
I'm sure there's been other times.
Let's get into the infamous topic that we always talk about at the beginning of this, the games that we've been playing. And since Brian is not here, you get to go first, Waves.
Now let's take a look at what Brian's been playing first.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's take a look. So Brian,
let's expose this man right now.
Yeah, so Brian, last Tuesday. So Brian has been playing Max Payne 3. He beat the story in Max Payne 3 so that he could start playing the challenge mode, I would assume.
I think he started it also.
Yeah. So basically, Brian beat the single player Max Payne 3, started playing through the challenge mode. He hasn't finished it yet. And then it looks like that's about it for Max Payne 3. And then he also started Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order on the PlayStation 5, which is dope.
The Ghost of Tsushima picture for the PS5 is so cursed.
Oh, like the trophy image?
Yeah, because they just grabbed the PS4 then shrinked it. Then that's your PS5 image. But like, if you have the PSN
It's like
plus PSNP plus thing, it's like double minimized.
yeah, it like hurts your eyes to like look at it. It's really, really annoying. You know what hurts my soul is looking at the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order PS5 list and just like seeing that as a 50% platinum, and just like, ugh. I heard people talking about this like, and I know it's never gonna change because it's just like a feature now, but like the auto popping from PS4 to PS5 games is just like crazy, man. And like it's like honestly, I think that is like worse than like Radalika games. At least Radalika games, like you have to play them, right? Like granted, you only have to play them for like 5 minutes, but like you have to play them. Like a lot of these games that give like literally free upgrades to PS4 to PS5, you don't even have to play them. You just get the upgrade, put the game in, and you get a platinum. Like,
I mean, we've talked about this multiple times already. Like, I don't get the point of doing that, right? Like, you're buying the game again, so play it again. Don't just fucking. You're literally just gonna put the game in, get your platinum, and then put it away. Like why are you buying the game? Don't buy it.
And I feel like some of them even are giving PS4 to PS5 upgrades for free. Like Star Wars was free.
Yeah, so that's true.
It wasn't even like you had to rebuy the game. Like you literally went and redeemed your PS5 version and then loaded your save up and got a platinum in like one. I don't know. Like it's funny because as the years have gone on, I have taken different stances with like stacking platinums and everything. Back when like the PS4 came out, so basically between the PS3 and PS4 generation, I was against it. Like I thought stacking was stupid. I was like, well, you already played the game one time. Like, why would you want to play it again for a trophy? And like as time went on and everything, I was like, it makes sense, right? Like if you want to play a game again and you want to earn the trophies again, like I think that's fine. Like that's fine. But like this whole new thing of like just auto popping shit in like 1 second, like it's just a shame. Yeah. And it ruins like, even though it doesn't matter, like it ruins like numbers for platinums.
Yeah, it can make like a game that's relatively hard, but because people have the platinum, just like look like it's not that hard or whatever.
Yeah, like
just because they were able to get the platinum on the PS4 and all that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order on the PS4 is a 25% platinum, but on the PS5, it's a 51% platinum. And I mean, I think it's like the same thing for like Ghost of Tsushima. You have, PS4 is, always hovered around 50%, which I think is ridiculously high. But the PS5 version is 62%. Like it's like 62% is ridiculously high. Like I'm wondering if like even a game like what is Terminator Salvation, which was like a notably trophy whore game on the PS3, is a 55%.
Well, you see, now that's just considered hard in like the new age because you have to play the game on hard.
True, but like that's the shit that like confuses me is like that game Terminator Salvation, which was a notably like, what about like, how about a game that doesn't make you do hard, like Magus, right? Like that's a notably easy PS3 game. Average percentage, wow, okay, a little higher than I thought, 73.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's a little higher than I thought. I thought it would be lower, so it's not helping my point here, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Waves and I were talking about it before the podcast, like the difference between the PS3 to PS4 era, and we'll get into this a little later in a topic. It's just, man, games just aren't made the same anymore. And like it's funny because it's not even leaking down from games now, it's leaking down into trophy lists. And
The funny thing is, there were like cross-platform games on PS3 to 4, and they had separate trophy lists. But I don't. Other than what was that game? Sound Shapes.
Yep.
I can't really think of other ones where it was like you could just auto pop the plat like that from like a PS3 version to a PS4 version.
Well, it's because
like the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, you had to play the game again.
yeah, even the
Stuff like that.
multiplayer, like you didn't. It was like saved. It was saved locally. I'm pretty sure, or it was like a completely different server. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think about it with like Watch Dogs because like two that I've played, which are of course they're Ubisoft games, but like Watch Dogs and AC4 are two that I'm thinking about off the top of my head because I recently did the multiplayer for both of them, and I've done them both on the PlayStation 4. I went back to do the PlayStation 3 ones. There's like they don't even give you an option of like upload your save to the cloud and then redownload like that shit. Even though that was a feature on the PS3, like it wasn't like that feature didn't exist. Like that was a feature on the PS3, and it was never like I wouldn't even say utilized. Like I think that the time or the thought at the time was like, if you're playing it on the PS3, you're playing it on the PS3, and if you're playing it on the PS4, you're playing it on the PS4. Like you don't get to move your saves around, but like with the whole like backwards compatibility and everything on the PS5, I think people just have this mindset of like, I own a PS5, and like you joked about when you got your PS5, like my PS5 is the best PS4. Like that's what it's become. Like it's literally your it's your go-to console for like everything PS4 or PS5. So,
there is no point to getting a PS5 really.
I still have yet to play a PS5 game.
I think like the only one that's worth it, and it's like a PS5 exclusive game, is Returnal.
Yeah.
Like there's Demon Souls, but I mean it's just a PS3 remake game. So it's not really like that's the only place you can play that game, so
yeah, I just wish that there would be like a separation between I get there not being a separation between generations. Like I've always advocated that like backwards compatibility is something that should be encouraged because it allows people to experience games on older consoles. Thus why I like remakes and ports, because it allows people to be able to play a game without having to go out and buy that console, right? Like who knows how much like a PS2 is worth, right? Like a PS2 that's in working condition. I mean, it may not be that bad, but like the fact of you having to go out of your way and search for a PS2 to then play like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is like kind of annoying. Yeah. Where you can just buy it on the PS3 or port on the PS4 and it's easily accessible. And I think that there's a lot of games on the PS3 store that were going to get shut down, and that's what people were advocating. Like, we can literally buy this game for 99 cents on your store or $99 physically. Like, it's not fair.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think the only game that I know of that's PS5 and PS4 where you can't auto pop is Doom Eternal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you can't.
Yeah,
honestly. Again, I'm all for stacking. Like, I'm all for it. Like, if you want to experience, and to me, like, even stacking between generations is even more acceptable because, being able to play a game with a better resolution or better frame rate is a completely different experience. Like, imagine playing Ghost in 30 and then Ghost in 60, like, completely different experience. So, yeah, like, to definitely be able to stack that game to me is completely acceptable. But what's not acceptable is, like, people can say, like, oh, well, I was playing this game on my PlayStation 4, and now I want to transfer my PlayStation 4 save to my PlayStation 5 because I don't want to be inconvenienced to have to start over from square one, and then they auto-pop all the trophies from it. Like, I think the way it should work is like, hey, you want to transfer your save? Go right ahead. But guess what? You're not getting the trophies along with it.
The one that doesn't make more sense is the Ghost of Tsushima one, because I think if you want to upgrade for your PS4 copy to the 5 copy, you have to pay either way. Like, it's not a free upgrade at all. So
yeah, because you have to buy the director's cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is kind of stupid because people spend $70 to auto pop trophies, which like makes it even worse. Like you said before, like that you're basically buying a game to put it in for 2 seconds to to get the trophy to move on. Like, I don't know. But to be fair, I guess you could go to GameStop, buy a used auto pop it, and return it. So, you know.
Yeah, I guess that's true too.
If you really want to save your cash, you could do it that way. But yeah,
I guess
don't
I'm
know.
just thinking of it like how I am, because I like to keep my games now.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, I'm like, you're really just buying this and then keeping it and then like just never playing it again.
Yeah, I mean,
But,
I completely agree. I'm the same way when it comes to like collecting and stuff. It's just like, why buy a game to put it in for 2 seconds to get a platinum to move on? Like, it just doesn't seem worth the money. Like, I don't even think I would buy a game for $10 to do that. Like,
yeah.
so it sucks.
I do have a couple auto pops on my account.
Like what?
But that was like Sly. I have Sly.
Yeah, but like
Thieves in Time. But that's because like when I was a kid, I was playing it in the actual way that you were like determined to use that.
Yeah,
I was playing
feature.
on my PS3 at home, and then and then I would take it on the Vita on the go and stuff.
Yeah, like that was a feature, and like, and the thing is, like, with that case, and like with any case, right? Like, I would never sit here and like judge somebody for doing it if there's like a backstory or something to like back it up, right? Like if you're like if you told me like, hey, I did it like on purpose because I wanted a platinum fast, I'd be like, all right, that's a little scummy, but like you were using it for the feature that it was intended to be used for, and it was just designed in a bad way to where it was 2 separate trophy lists, and you were basically able to auto pop trophies for that reason. So like that's not necessarily your fault. Like you were doing what they wanted you to do.
Yeah.
So I mean, I have a few auto pops when it comes to stuff, but it's not like that. Like my auto pops that I have are I think I only have 2 games, and they're specifically multiplayer related, and it's Deformers, because obviously network reasons, and Drawn to Death Japan, or Drawn to Death, I guess shouldn't say just Japan, but like the Drawn to Death games. So, and again, there's
the other
nothing
one I have
I could do about it.
The other one I have is Destiny 2. But I didn't even auto pop the platinum. I just auto popped a few trophies.
Yeah, but you pulled them from PC, which like again makes sense. Like you were just playing.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you played it on the PC and then you wanted to play it on the PC. So again, you were using the feature as intended. Like that's what it comes down to. You were just using the feature as intended. I mean, I don't know how you would judge mine, because like I did go in like planning on stacking the games, but like they're both multiplayer only games. So like I didn't really have too many options when it came down to like getting, like I didn't get every trophy. I only got like level based trophies and stuff, but yeah, I don't really know how that I don't know how people feel about that, I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, I get you.
Because it's kind of, I guess the way that I look at it is like if you're making the decision to openly go into a game and download a save and auto pop every trophy, like that, like you are, it's kind of like the difference between like first and third degree murder, right? Like this is probably a little exaggerated, but like first degree murder, like you had intent, you knew what you were doing, it can be proved that you knew what you were doing. Third degree is kind of like, well, like it's still bad, but like you necessarily didn't, it wasn't like intended, or like manslaughter, right? Like it wasn't intended to have, like when you get into a car accident, right? Like if you get into a car accident and the person you got into a car accident with dies, like you could be charged with manslaughter, but like your intention wasn't to kill that person. Like that was not your intention. Like I guess that's like an over exaggeration of like the way that that I look at, like, was your intent to go in here and automatically earn all of these trophies like that, or were you using the features as intended, and you auto popping trophies was just repercussion to that happening?
Yeah, I think for me, when I'm just talking about just PS4 and PS5 generation at least, the only time it's acceptable is when you don't really have a choice in the matter, right?
Like Destiny 2.
Like Destiny 2 or Warframe or stuff like that. So, because I'm guessing they all use the same server, right? So,
yeah, I mean, They have to, really.
And I don't know yet if your ghost stuff transfers over, like multiplayer wise.
I haven't looked into it, but let me look at. I'm gonna assume that it does, but like even if it doesn't, like I don't know. I think modern games all run off of like servers. They're not locally saved. So like I'm thinking right now, like the last game that was locally saved was probably like the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. Like I would assume that was locally saved because there's no way they ran two different like servers for it.
Yeah.
But so was like Assassin's Creed 4 or like Watch Dogs. Like they all like I didn't load Watch Dogs up multiplayer on the PS3 and then I had all my shit done that I did on the PS4. So I think it was saved locally to the game because they give you upgrades and shit for doing like online stuff. So yeah, it definitely was saved locally, but at the end of the day, I guess play what you want to play, do what you want to do. It be what it be.
Play what you want to play, but if you auto pop your PS5 trophies, I have less respect for you.
Facts. You know, the only thing that I'm looking at where this could be like a detriment, not a detriment, that's over exaggeration. The only way I could see this being like it's sucking is like if the game came out on the PS5 originally on the PS4 and then they released additional DLC but only on the PS5, but you were in the case of like a game like Destiny 2, right? Like if Destiny 2 came out with their next big expansion, like take for instance Destiny 1 PS3 to PS4, right? They kept releasing DLC on the PS4 for Destiny 1 that was not on PS3.
Yeah.
So like if you wanted to play that DLC, you had to play it on PS4. So imagine you started on PS3, but then you moved to PS4. Luckily with that game, it was a shared list. So, you know, it wasn't,
I guess,
at the end of the world.
So that kind of happened with 7 Remake because of the integrated DLC is only on PS5.
Okay.
So
yep. That's a good point. So it's already happened, but yeah, I think it would just suck because like if a Destiny 2 DLC came out and I wanted to play it, I would literally have no choice. Like I would have to load Destiny 2 up, auto pop all the trophies, and then do the DLC additionally. So it's almost like you don't have a choice to do it. Where if it's a game where if you have a choice to transfer a save, you don't actually have to do it. So
yeah. So yeah, that's what Brian's been playing.
It'd be what it be, but yeah, that's what Brian's been playing. So what have you been playing, Waves?
I was playing Kiwami 2, and I'm actually pretty far in the story now. I want to say I'm like halfway through now. Okay, not halfway through, but I'm a good amount through.
How long is that game story-wise?
It's like 16 chapters technically, but it's a remake of a PS2 game, so really it's only like 8 hours long, I think.
Oh, that's not bad.
But I keep getting sidetracked with all this shit on the side, so that's what I keep doing. Let me see.
As to be expected from a Yakuza game.
Let's see, how long to beat Kiwami 2? Okay, so main story is like about 20 hours. Is what this thing says. And then 100% is about 80 hours.
Oh, that's not bad. I guess the Platinum's probably a little longer though, right?
Well, the Platinum, I'm guessing the completionist on this website is just the 100%, which is what's going to be like what takes up most of your time. Because once you beat it, you can do a new game plus on a legend difficulty and just run through the game really fast, skipping all the cutscenes. So the cutscenes alone will probably cut off like a good 8 hours. So like I want to say Kiwami 1 is a 15-hour game, but you cut off all those cutscenes, it's like an 8-hour game. So
damn, that's kind of shorter than I was expecting.
they were both PS2 games, so I kind of expect it because PS2 games were just shorter in general
Yeah.
back then. But yeah, Kiwami 2's. I have some thoughts about Kiwami 2, but I don't want to really say anything until I finish the game.
Fair enough.
But I'm not liking the combat much. That's all I can really say.
Is it that drastically different?
So like, I get what they're trying to do. They were trying to do it with 6. I played 6 before this one, and this one's definitely better than 6. But I get what they're trying to do. We're trying to make like heat actions more diegetic to the gameplay, right? So you wouldn't have to have a heat bar necessarily, because you could just, if you wanted to crush a bike on top of someone, you can just do that in the gameplay. But it's just not fun like that, and they just kind of ruined the combos really, because the fun thing with Zero was you could like chain all especially when you got the quick style clothes, you could change all your styles together and do like the stupid crap, and the person would be able to like stay in front of you, while in the new one you do the finishing hit of a combo, they'll go flying across the room and your combo is just done right there. They obviously learned from this, because in Judgment it's a lot better. Like that game's combat is god tier, I want to say.
Damn.
And I'm very excited for Lost Judgment.
Damn.
Even though their Lost Judgment is just a whole nother can of worms right now, though. So, but
those are heavy words.
But Kiwami 2's combat, like, and 6's combat, just leaves a lot to be desired. Especially because, like, I haven't played 5, but I heard 5 and 0 is kind of like the pinnacle of the franchise when it comes to like their combat. So that's just a little disappointing to see that happen.
Well, I guess they have to like evolve it throughout time to like try to make it like more interesting. Like I think about like a game I think about that with is like, you know, God of War through the time, where they've, you know, at least between like the first one and then the third one, with all in between, like it was the same general combat, but you could tell that they would like switch things up about it, like whether it was like new weapons or whatever. Like they have to, like that's just part of it. Like if they keep releasing the same game gameplay wise with like the same or with like different narrative, like people are gonna get bored.
No, I mean I get that, but when you just absolutely destroy like even the game you're remaking's combat, you know, like 2 is apparently up there also when it comes to like combat wise. Kiwami 2's is just like awful, like compared to like just the PS2 to combat. So
it's a shame that they remade it then and they like torched it that much.
I mean, the game itself, like the story's great, the world is great, like Kamurocho is very cool to walk in this game, because so if you play like Judgment or the new Yakuza game, it's very much in today's modern aesthetic, right? So like today's modern like architecture and stuff. Those games with Kiwami and Kiwami 2, it's very much in like the 2000s aesthetic. So it's cool like being able to see that in the new engine where it looks more realistic rather than boxy and stuff.
Yeah.
But
non HD.
Yeah, but like there's only so much me sightseeing will do, you know? At the end of the day, like the combat is what I'm here for, and the story's great, but the combat is not. It's just not really up to snuff in Kiwami 2, at least.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that's like, I mean, I don't want to say that's like every game, but like already bringing it up, Assassin's Creed, like that's how Assassin's Creed is, right? Like I like Assassin's Creed because of the exploration perspective and like the maps that Ubisoft can make or have made, but like that only gets you so far in the game. Like,
Yeah.
you have to have like a narrative, you have to have good combat, you have to have like good side quests. Like, you have to have a reason to play the game other than just like walking around and looking at stuff.
I mean, like, at the end of the day, the reason you're playing a game is to play the actual game. So, like, if your game doesn't have
Yeah,
like
that's
fun
true.
gameplay, like,
Yeah,
you're
that's
not
true.
going to be engaged. And that's not to say like everything else isn't important, because like you can have fun, engaging gameplay, but like if it looks like it's still in the early development phases, like no one's going to want to play your game. So,
Yeah, which is actually probably like a good segue into the second game you've been playing, because I feel like it kind of fits into that perspective of like awesome gameplay, but like the narrative just being like, bleh. Like the only reason you like play the game is for the gameplay.
yeah, so the second game I've been playing is Max Payne 3, which is going to be just a game that's in all of our lists right now.
Yeah.
Um, I don't really want to say anything about this story because I skipped most of the cutscenes because I'm just trying to get through the story. But you've played you actually watched all the cutscenes and everything, right?
Yeah, like the story's very like cookie cutter, and like I don't want to say, I mean, cookie cutter's probably not the word, but like it's very, I don't know. Max has a lot of plot armor. Let's just say that. Like, he's a literal superhero in this game, which, like, again, makes the game very fun to play. But, like, narratively is just, like, on rails because, like, shit is happening that, like, you are just like, what? Like, the fact that, like, he takes down all of Brazil and, like, deals with a whole gang in New Jersey and, like, all of this and, like, literally, I mean, you played the cemetery level. Like, the fact that that's, like, a thing that, like, exists is kind of like, wow. Like, it doesn't make the game not fun, right? The game is still amazing to play, but, like, when you sit down and actually think about like the narrative and what's going on, you're like, okay, this is a bit absurd. One of the things that I really do like about the narrative, which is tied into the storytelling and level design, is how they kind of hop you around from present day to back in time.
Mm-hmm.
Because most games would kind of just give you like, you're playing through the game, right, and your side character or whatever is gonna be like, remember that time when we did blah blah blah, and then your character's just like, yeah, but like you as the player have no background or backstory of that. Like, this game will actually, in a few instances, take you back to that time of when that stuff happened, to then give you backstory and perspective of what that side character is then mentioning. Um, so yeah, and definitely one of the times that happens in this game, you're kind of like, you kind of sit there and you're like Max, do you like ride the short bus? Like, how did you not think that way? Like, when you saw that happen in person, like, what the hell? But like, to be fair, he is like drunk and high all the time, so makes sense. But
That man's got the super depression.
yeah, you got the
Oh.
mega depression. But I mean, I don't know, the narrative when you play back through on hard or whatever waves after you've dealt with like the bullshit multiplayer and challenge mode, which really the challenge mode isn't really bullshit. Maybe you can like watch the cutscenes and let me know what you think. But like, to me, I wasn't impressed by the narrative. Let's just say that.
That kind of
But
saddens me because I played 1 and 2
mhm,
when I was a kid, and also please give us 2 on the PS4 or 5, please.
yeah,
But
everyone's been asking for that.
like I really liked the story of those, even though 1 was like a little weird sometimes. But like 2 is a fucking great game. So it's kind of sad to hear that like the story kind of fell short for you on 3. I'll have to like probably once I finish up the multiplayer, I'll actually play through it on hard and actually watch the cutscenes. The one thing I can really say about the game, I'm probably just gonna be talking gameplay wise in general, is I didn't like the level design much, just cause you and me were talking about this before this, but I feel like a lot of the levels aren't like just doesn't work with what moveset Max has.
Yeah.
Because it's just like there's no real fun way for me to be able to really use the shoot dodge a lot without like once I'm done getting with the shoot dodge, I'm just get absolutely destroyed by everyone who's aiming at me while I'm on the floor.
Yeah, that was something that like Katz brought up originally when I first started playing the game, and like as I've played through and as you're mentioning it does make me like a little sad that like the shoot dodge, it's like such a cool feature, but like it's not utilized. And like you said, like you shoot dodge and then Max just lands in like an alleyway or like in the middle of the open, and it's like you can't even utilize the shoot dodge properly because like you're so vulnerable once you do it for the most part. And again, maybe we're just stupid, right? Maybe we're not
Maybe I'm
shoot
just bad,
dodging
but
the right direction or in the right area, but like once you get out of the open, it's like game over. Like like you're
yeah.
done. Which just like sucks, but yeah, I agree. I think the level design, it's not bad, right? Like I'm not saying it's bad in any means. Like it's still very very detailed, very good. But like yeah, there definitely could be like areas that could be like taken advantage of when it comes to like the shoot dodge mechanic, because I feel like it's not really utilized. It doesn't make you utilize the mechanic of the game
Mm-hmm. I
without
felt
being
like the
like
one that I
punished.
used the most was, when you push down on the right stick
Yeah,
to make everything slow. That's like the one I used the most.
I think it's called bullet time,
Bullet time.
which like you get when you shoot dodge. Like if you're out of bullet time, you can shoot dodge, and it's basically like unlimited bullet time.
Yeah.
But
But
like I don't know, it's just like it's weird. Like I'm not saying it's bad, right? Like it's still like a great game, but
then the one thing I want to say that I like that's pretty cool is this game kind of uses QuickTime events but doesn't tell you what to do because it kind of like assumes that you know what the shoot button is already. Like when you like attack someone when you're up close to them
yeah.
and he does like the melee. I like that at the end of it, instead of telling you, hey, press R2, you just know, like, hey, it's time to shoot this guy, so press R2.
Yeah, I do like that. Like I'm gonna execute this guy on the ground. Like that, I did notice that as I was playing through that. That's like I don't even know if I'd call that a feature. Like that's just like a game. That's a piece of gameplay. That's just like cool.
Yeah. But other than that, I just finished the game like right before we recorded this,
Mm-hmm.
and the bosses were kind of boring. There was like one that was interesting where you had to like shoot down
The ceiling.
the ceiling, but all the other ones was just kind of like find a place they can't shoot you and then just shoot them in the head over and over.
Yeah, there's not really, and like that's another area where like I wish they would utilize the shoot dodge. Like that's supposed to be the point of the game, right? Like why are we not? And again, maybe we're being stupid, but like why are we not utilizing the shoot dodge in the boss battles? Like why are we not shoot dodging to and from cover, like certain covers or certain areas of cover or stuff like that to like utilize? Like it's literally like even the boss battle where you shoot the ceiling, like you can just spray and pray over the ceiling, like over your cover and just shoot the ceiling. Like it's not like
Yeah.
there's any sort of like technicality behind it other than shoot the ceiling.
Yeah.
I mean, back to the narrative real quick. The one thing that I don't, I guess my biggest gripe with the narrative, and it's for this game and it's really any game, is like when there's really no purpose behind it, if that makes sense. Like, Max starts as a bodyguard, and then now you're like, and now, all this stuff happens, and all these people die, and now you're like, all of a sudden you're supposed to care, and now like you're diving deep into freaking Brazil and all this, and then you realize all this stuff is going on, and then like you go out on your own and take out like all these fucking people. Like, I guess like the whole like narrative side, like it almost feels like there's no purpose to the narrative or like substance behind it other than like Max being Max, which I guess is the substance behind it. But
So you think it's just like the game was just more of an excuse to like have it as a power trip kind of way rather than like trying to tell an interesting story?
Yeah, I mean,
That
I
makes
think
sense.
like I'm not saying the story's bad, but like there's no substance behind like why anything or like why you're in the position you're in or why you care so much. Like you're literally you get hired by this Bronco family and then like next thing you know there's some shady shit going on, but now you're supposed to like care about it. It's like, well, why do you care about it? Like who is this Bronco guy? Like he was literally paying you to be a bodyguard and now you're supposed to care that like something happened to him or is happening to his family? Like what's the substance behind who he is other than he's paying you?
Yeah, I get that.
And then you go on a power trip for that reason as like almost revenge, but then the revenge turns into more like the progression of it is definitely good, but like there's again the purpose of why it all got started. Like where we got to get back to like square one. Like what was the purpose behind all of this getting started other than this was your employer?
It's interesting. Now I kind of want to play the game to figure that out.
I mean, I don't know if it even explains it. Like I played through the story and I paid attention, but like to me, I mean, maybe when I play through, you know, my 4 more times that I need to play through, you know, I'll pay attention to it and maybe like read deeper into things. But yeah, I don't know. I just like it's very strange because there's no connection personally between like who Bronco is and his family and like you're literally just a mate. You're just a hired man and you realize it later on in the game that like you were hired as you were basically hired as like a pawn. That's the whole reason you were hired. But like again, is Max doing it because like he feels played? Like is that why he go does he go on his power trip because he feels played? Does he go on his power trip to be a good guy? Does he go on this power trip? I guess that's for like you to interpret,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not to me when you're playing a linear game, when you're playing any game, I feel like there should be no interpretation to a narrative. Sections of it, sure, but overall, like I feel like you shouldn't have to interpret why things are happening or the like that should like if your narrative isn't speaking enough for itself to for people to interpret it that way, then like I feel like it's not a good narrative.
All right.
But I'll stop bragging on it.
The game's fun though.
Oh, the game's fun as hell to play. Yeah.
The 2 things I noticed is it's probably just because I'm bad, but like I never had painkillers, so there'd be like a bunch of sections where I have like a little bit of health, and I just have to like crawl my way up, and then you die really fast. Like do
Yeah.
not stand out. Do not stand out in the open.
Yeah.
If you want to live.
Regardless of like what difficulty you play on, you die very fast.
I was playing on medium or normal or whatever they call it in the game.
Yeah,
And
it can be frustrating.
it was just like it wouldn't even give me like a minute. Like a cutscene would play, and I'm just watching it because I can't skip it. It's one of those like transition cutscenes,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like, oh, here's enemies, and then next thing I know is half my health bar is gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I will say that there's bad news to you not having painkillers. And the bad news is that you're going to want to learn the locations of them in order to beat New York Minute Hardcore, because essentially New York Minute Hardcore is you beating the whole game. So here, let me take a step back. So
it's
you
like beating it in one try, right?
yeah, so you have the game, right? You have the normal game. You can play through you play through on your different difficulties of medium, hard, old school, and hardcore. Which again are just the difficulties. Then you get into the challenges, which is like New York Minute. So what New York Minute is you start every mission with a 1-minute timer, and as you kill people and as you do things, you gain time. And you basically want to get through the whole mission without the timer going to 0. But you go through it chapter by chapter as you would in challenge mode or arcade mode or anything else. So you're just tied to that one chapter.
Mm-hmm.
New York Minute Hardcore is the whole entire game in one sitting. If you die, if the timer runs out, if anything like that, you start back over at the beginning of the entire game.
I'll try to memorize everything on my next few playthroughs in, because, like, on my normal thing, I wasn't caring about anything.
Yeah.
I didn't even pick up any of the golden guns or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I was just, like,
Just
my
getting
main
through the game
goal
as
is
fast as
finish the
possible.
game. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
my main goal is to finish the game, and which I finished it pretty fast, if I really think about it, because I started it one night, and I got to, like, chapter 6, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other night you were streaming, and that's when I picked it up again. It was like only like a few hours, and then I basically beat half. I can't talk right now. A little more than half, just today. So
Yeah. So you made good time. I mean, I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I just played through on medium, but like, yeah, basically having those painkillers, like if you ever get like fucked over or something, it's going to be crucial to like go into last stand with them.
yeah, for sure.
Or if you're just getting, if something happens, but like as you play through the amount of times that you're going to play through, like you're going to learn how many enemies are in this location, or how many, where the painkillers are. And I think the other good thing is that like, as you're playing through, you can obviously, I think you can pause the game. You may not be able to. I may be lying there. But like, there's a guy online that apparently like is the go-to guy for like everything. So you may not be able to pause. I may be lying about that. I've not actually tried the New York Minute hardcore, but again, as you're playing through the New York Minute, as you're playing through all your other playthroughs, it would probably be helpful to just figure out where the painkillers spawns are, so that you can have them just in case.
The New York Minute hardcore is gonna be annoying, and that's not even because you have to beat the game in one sitting. I feel like it's gonna be more annoying because if you die, you're gonna have to like watch every cutscene. So,
Yeah, that's like my biggest. I think that's everybody's complaint with the game. Like, I get why you can't skip the cutscenes, but like, oh my god, like it makes the game so much longer.
it's annoying.
But again, you can't do anything about it because they use them as loading. I mean, that's like saying like, why does my elevator in God of War 2018, like, why does it have to take so long? Why can't it take shorter?
Yeah, that shit's annoying.
Tell your game to load faster, then your elevator ride will take shorter.
They should just do it like DMC5, like I don't know how they do their loading, but I can skip every cutscene in that game without an issue.
Yeah.
So, and the same thing with DMC4 and DMC3 and 2 and 1. So, come on, developers, be like Base Tetsuno, please.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Snickle, society's only regressed since DMC5 came out.
What year was that?
2019.
I feel like it's been on the downturn before then, but yeah, it's probably been getting worse.
Society's only regressed since DMC4 first came out. That was 2008.
You heard it here first. We're on a downward trend. And we never know when we'll get to the valley.
So that's what I've been playing.
Nice.
What about you, Snickle? We all know what you've been playing, but
Yeah, I've literally been playing the same game, which is Max Payne 3. I don't know. Let me look at my trophies real quick, but I don't know if I beat the game last week. We recorded last week's podcast on the 1st or 2nd. So yeah, I just beat the game last week before we recorded the podcast, I think. No, I beat it the day before.
I was gonna say just like me.
Yeah. I beat it the day before the podcast. So I did that, and then I did not beat the challenge mode yet. So it took me 2 nights to do the challenge mode. So I think you'll be able to do that in a day or a night. But yeah, so last week I beat the challenge mode. did that. I beat that on Friday. Yeah, I beat that on Friday. And then basically was it Friday? What else did I do? I feel like I didn't beat it then. Why do I feel like I didn't beat it then? I don't know. Anyway, it's because I went away last weekend. I'm thinking about the weekend before. Yeah, so I beat it on Friday. I beat it, well, technically Thursday night. I beat it, and then ever since then, so basically Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all I've been doing is leveling up online. So I've done a few nights of the infamous Chapter 4 1 level in the Hoboken bar. So I've been doing that, and then I've also been doing with cats. We've been doing some of the headshot multiplayer boosting, which they both take the same amount of time at the end of the day because you have to AFK for the headshot one, or not AFK, but you have to actually like play. You just don't have to like actually play. You just have to, be there pressing buttons. But I'm currently I believe I'm at level 29. Right before I started the podcast, I checked. So I think I'm at level 29. Level 34 is technically halfway. So when I started boosting just the XP, which was on I started on Monday, technically. Monday evening. So I've only been doing it for 3 nights. I think I started at level... I think I was like 17 or 19 or something like that. So I've gone up like 10 levels in like 3 days, but a majority of it has been just from doing the headshot boosting with cats. I did a majority of it then. So I'm planning on doing that like almost every night with cats to get that done and to level up as fast as possible, because it takes like 30 hours to get from 1 to 50. So I think to get from like 20 to 50 is probably more like 20 to 25 hours, but like still, that's a lot of time.
Is it, I thought it was 30 hours with the, what's it called? The Chapter 4 method?
Yeah, so it's 30 hours with the Chapter 4 method from square one. So from level 1. You have to do that chapter. I think the calculations that people did was you had to do that chapter 620 times to get from 0 to 50. That chapter takes, around 2 minutes to get through. It's probably more like 3 minutes with load times, because you can just literally press square at the end of it and restart, and it'll count your XP. So you're probably looking at like 3 minutes with load times. So you can do 20 an hour. So, that's just doing math there. That's times 30 is 600. So, that's giving you your 30 hours, even though they say 620. That's giving you, approximately 30 hours from square one. But if you do the headshot method, it is only 15 hours. But that's with you doing it by yourself, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it would take me 15 hours, and then it would also take cats 15 hours, or you 15 hours, or anyone else 15 hours. So, like, if me and you were doing it together, it's going to take you 15 hours, but I also have to be there for your 15 hours. And it's going to take me 15 hours, and then you're also going to have to be there for my 15 hours. So, like, it still takes 30 hours combined if both people are going for the headshot stuff. If you're lucky enough to find somebody that will AFK for you and you're the only one that has to get the headshots, then it'll take you 15 hours.
Yeah, well, it would still take less overall if you take everyone into account, right? Because instead of it being 30 hours for one person, it would be 60 hours technically, right?
It would be 15 per person.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? So if you were doing it by yourself, it's 30 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
From 0 to 50.
Yep.
Or 1 to 50, I mean. So, even though you are there 30 hours either way, it'll still be less than you just doing it by yourself and the other person doing it by yourself, because combining them would just be 60 hours.
Oh, right? I see what you're saying. Like total, yeah, it would be like 60 hours of playtime compared to 30 hours playtime. Yeah, it's like half the time. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, theoretically, it is like half the time, and like when you are just getting killed, as long as the person who's killing you sets up in the right spawn spot, all you have to do is just press X and square. There are some instances where you do have to move because you may not spawn in the right spot, but if you get good at doing that method, it's maybe like you have to do that like half a dozen times a match. So it's really not bad. And you can get like 100. Doing that method last night when I was doing it with cats, being efficient, you can get around 100 kills a match. Once Cats was able to get the burst that gives you essentially unlimited ammo, which you get at level 32, he was able to pull like 130 kills a match, which when you equate that, you get 50 XP per kill, right? So if you get 100 kills, right, you're getting 5k XP just from kills. You also then get 25 XP for headshots, which you're going to get. So you get another 2500 XP from that. And then you also get XP from doing vendettas. You're going to get XP from beating challenges, like getting a certain amount of kills with like guns or activating bursts so many times. So you get XP from that stuff. So like theoretically, you're earning XP so much faster that method than you are the other one, because a match is 10 minutes, right? And in 10 minutes, you can do, let's see, 3 runs of Chapter 4. If you get a platinum every time with Chapter 4, you're looking at 3,000 XP. So 3,000 XP every 10 minutes compared to well, I guess you would do 20 minutes. So let me rephrase. We'll say you can do on average 7 every 20 minutes. That's being conservative, or that's being not conservative. That's being generous. So that's 7,000 XP every 20 minutes of doing Chapter 4. If you do 20 minutes with headshot boosting, you're probably pulling closer to, if you're getting headshots, you're getting vendettas, you're doing all that, you're pulling at a minimum with 100 kills, you're pulling 7,500 XP. So you're pulling more XP statistically doing the headshot method than you are doing the Chapter 4 method. Yeah. Even taking into consideration doing nothing for 10 minutes for half the time.
Yeah, no. So the headshot method is way faster.
Yeah. Yeah, the headshot method is the way to go. The only thing that sucks is you can't do it alone. Well, you can do it alone if you have 2 copies of the game. But you have to play one with your toes and the other with your hands. So it's not like the most convenient thing, but you know, it is what it is.
And then randoms would kind of ruin it, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm.
There is a trick where like you can basically get in a lobby by yourself. And what you do is you like search for a game. You know how when you search for a game, it'll say at the bottom like joining or make or like creating session.
Yeah.
Well, if you literally search and then right when you start searching, you cancel and then you search again, it like automatically gives you like your own lobby. Basically, it won't like that stuff won't pop up on the bottom and say like creating or joining session. So like if you're like running into randoms, like that's a way that you can like essentially get rid of the randoms. Even though they can still find your lobby later on, you can at least get like a few games in and then back out and then have the randoms like join the lobby that you made, and then they can, you know, play with each other for a little bit, and then, you know, you're free for a little bit. So I mean, there is like a workaround around it. But you still have to put time into like finding, because you can't do it on any map. You have to find the right map. You have to do all that.
So the Hoboken Alley or whatever.
It's the Hoboken Tenements is the map. So like you have to find that specific map. Then you have to wait a minute to load in every round. So like, or maybe you're making a little less because, you know, you do have to wait a minute to load in. You do have to find the map and everything. So But I would say statistically, you're probably making more money. You're probably ranking up faster statistically doing the headshot method than you are just doing the chapter 4. That would be my professional opinion.
So if you had to tell people to choose a method, you'd say to do the headshot method then?
Yeah, if I was telling somebody to do this game like right now, like if someone wanted to start this game right now, which could be doable, you would be really pushing the limits, but it would be doable. I would tell you to buy the game probably digitally, and then so that you can basically play with yourself, and then self boost all of the multiplayer levels by yourself, because then it'll only take you 15 hours. And like realistically, if you were like really, really, really grinding hard, you could do that in like 2 days.
Damn.
So
get your games done, boys.
yeah, I mean, I've debated buying a second copy to do it, but I won't do that unless like I literally next like Tuesday I still need like 10 more levels. And then I'll be like, okay, yeah. I gotta kick this shit into high gear. Yeah. I have cats, and I know that cats Cats is ahead of me, so like once Cats gets done, I know he'll sit there for me and help me, but I'm hoping it doesn't have to get to that is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping to be done. My goal is to be maxed out by today's Wednesday. So my goal is to be maxed out by maybe Sunday or Monday at the latest Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I want to play the fuck out of it. Like I'm going to play the fuck out of it, tomorrow night being Thursday, with Cats. We're going to play, we're probably going to play like almost all night would be my guess. So I'm trying to put like a solid like 6 hours in tomorrow. And then Friday night, I'm probably going to self boost. Saturday night, I'll probably self boost. And then Sunday night, I'll do it again with Cats for, again, probably like 5 or 6 hours. So just there, like, I'm talking, maybe 12 hours of headshot method along with whatever I play on Friday and Saturday nights and Sunday during the day, possibly, since I'll probably just play it while I'm at somebody's house.
So you will be bringing it to that person's house?
Yeah, I've been bringing my PS3 the past few like weekends just to get through the game, because I was playing like Shift 2 and everything. Like I was trying to get all that stuff done over the weekends. I've literally, in case, I mean, I'm sure people have been, have noticed throughout the months of the trophy talks and the podcast and everything, I've literally only been playing PlayStation 3 since mid-July.
That's the only thing worth playing, really.
Hey, it's the best console, right?
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's all I've been playing. I'm hoping in the next few weeks to be playing, or not next few weeks, but next few months to be playing a little bit more, some different games. I'm going to be focusing on, again, like getting the multiplayer done for Max Payne, and then literally going right into everything else that the game has to offer to platinum it. I mean, I wanted to platinum it before the servers went down, but I just don't think it's physically possible to do unless like I don't sleep or go to work or do anything. So
will you be you'll be focusing on not Max Payne, GTA 5 after this, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I'll be doing Max Payne 3 and then GTA 5, and then after GTA 5, I'll be going back to the alphabetical on PS3, but I may be doing like some in-between stuff with Brian with like a few of the games that we were talking about playing, so because we have a few games in there that we've discussed playing for like a while, so might get around to those.
Yeah, we'll get around to Never Dead now, right?
Yeah, we have to at some point. That too. There's a lot of other like PS3 games that we have to get around to as well. Multiplayer. Got to go back to like BioShock 2 and a bunch of shit. But
God, I forgot about BioShock 2.
Yeah, honestly, the whole like Need for Speeds going down and Max Payne 3 and GTA 5, like it definitely threw a wrench in like what I was planning on playing. But like, I don't know. They were gonna get done at some point, so might as well throw them in now. Might as well put them on a timeline and throw them in now.
I mean, like you said, it was it's kind of a like what's it called?
Blessing in disguise.
Yeah,
Yeah, it kind of
'cause
is.
you'll finally just get it done now. So
Yeah, if it did, the servers didn't go down, like who knows when I would have played the Need for Speeds or Max Payne 3 or I mean, I've been wanting to play GTA 5 on the PS3 for a while, but like again, I've been wanting to, but there's a difference between wanting to and actually doing. So
you're just gonna do them by yourself, or you have people now, or what's up?
So GTA 5 I'm supposed to do with Platinum. He mentioned doing it. So I think what I'm going to do is so for the trophies you only have to do the heist finales, right? So my goal is going to be to basically like him and I will get on, or he and I will get on, and we'll basically do everything with like random people. That's going to be like the goal. Like it'll just be him and I, and then we'll search for 2 other random people, unless there's people that want to do it. Like that's what I'm thinking. And then as it comes for the platinum medal trophy, because there's a trophy for getting like I think 25 platinum medals and like finales and stuff like that. You can literally just farm the first heist that you can do with 2 people to get that trophy. So
Doesn't sound that bad then.
yeah, it's
Definitely
not awful.
like time consuming, but
yeah, I think the hardest part is going to be just like finding randoms to do the heist, but like actually doing the heist, like I've said like as long as I get on every night, like I don't think those heists will take longer than, you know, a few nights to get through all of them. Like I've done them all on the PS4, so like I know how long they take, and some of them, you know, can definitely be kind of annoying, but, you know, it's not something where like it's undoable. So I'm not super worried about it. I think honestly it will take me like a week or 2 max to finish that whole heist DLC. But
it's not all of them, right? It's only like a few of them because they didn't release all of them on PS3 or something like that.
it's just the first round of heists. So like it's not the new one that like where they added like the freaking like missile that you can call in, but it's just like the OG like 3 that they have. I forget. It goes up to like I don't know if it's like the Pacific job or something, but like that's like the last one. I think there's like, let me look, hold on. They didn't add any of like the other, it's literally the heist DLC is the only one. So it goes up, so you have the heist setup mission, you have the Humane Labs raid, and a series funding. So there's 2 there. And then you have the Fleeca job and the Pacific Standard job. And then you have, which I think the Fleeca or the one of the 2 of those is like the final one. And then you have the prison break heist. So I think there's 5. But essentially all you have to do is you have to do the first heist, or I guess there's 6 because there's the setup. You have to do the first heist, which is the setup one, which is the one that I think you do with 2 people. Or that you may not. Hold on. A series of funding might be the one that is like the 2-person. One of them is like a 2-person one, right? So you do that. You do that one. You basically get a trophy for completing the heist, right? Whether you're a leader or you have to be a leader or in a crew. I guess that's the only difference. So I don't know if everyone has to be in your crew. I don't know how that works. I don't really remember. Then you have to invest money to set up a heist. So that's basically just doing a heist. That's not bad. You have to, as a heist leader, you have to set the final cut at 25% at the end of it. Again, not hard. You have to spend $8 million in purchasing vehicles as part of the heist update, which you can just buy and sell like the same vehicle over and over again. So again, not bad. You have to complete a heist finale without taking any damage. Again, you can do that in the 2-player heist, and then you have to earn 25 platinum medals across the heist setups and finales, which again, you can do that in the 2-player heist. So basically, you just have to beat all the heists. And then when you're doing a finale, give everyone 25%. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, that doesn't seem so bad.
Yeah, it's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. So I'm not like worried about it. I'm actually kind of excited to play a GTA game. I haven't played one in a while. So yeah, I'll be doing the heist stuff, and then I'll be doing the I'll just be finishing up the single player, shortly after.
They haven't made one in a while, so
Yeah, and who knows when they're making the next one. So could be like 2 or 3 years, maybe more. Man, the fact that the whole PS4 came out and we didn't get a single Grand Theft Auto game.
I mean, honestly, the GTA 5 is very obviously like a PS4 game, so
Yeah, I mean, that is true. That is very true, but still, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess they did put Red Dead out, but like, I don't know. I look back at even like Rockstar on like the PS3, right? Like, they made GTA 4, which came out in like, what was that, 2008?
oh yeah, their output is definitely like decrease.
Yeah, it's like
Which
it's
is-
like dog shit. It's like the worst output I've
Yeah.
ever seen from a company. Like, you went from on the PS2 to putting bangers out, like literally within like a year or two of each one, to going to the PS3 where you put GTA 4 out in 2008, I think, or something like that, to Red Dead 1 in 2010, which by the way wasn't like, that was a big game at the time. It's not like we're talking about like they slung some cheap easy game over, you know what I mean? Like, that was actually
Yeah.
like a full game. And then new characters, new all that, and then you had Max Payne 3 in 2012. They had didn't they have a ping pong game or something that came out as well?
I think that was like in 2007.
So that was like real early on. And then they had the GTA 4 single player DLCs. And then they have Midnight Club LA. How could I forget about that?
It's crazy that this game came out in 2012 and then GTA 5 came out in 2013.
Yep.
Well, this was also back then when every studio actually worked on their own game. It's not like now where every Rockstar studio works on one big game.
Yeah. And that's like the most annoying part. I mean, the game development like process is like so fucked up nowadays, I feel like, but
Yeah.
they make money, so I guess it's not fucked up. But yeah, they put so many games out on the PS3, and then GTA 5 came out in 2013, then came out on the PS4 like shortly after the PS4 came out, and then we didn't get shit. Like, we didn't get shit from Rockstar until like what, when did Red Dead 2 come out? 2019? 2018?
Didn't it come on 2011?
No, Red Dead 2.
Oh, Red Dead 2. 2018.
Yeah, I think it was 2018. Yeah. So like literally like 5 years between games, and then we still haven't gotten. Now we're in 2021, and we haven't gotten or even heard about anything other than like GTA 5 might be coming out in 2023, and that there may be a GTA trilogy remake being made. So,
hey, but at least we're getting GTA 5 on the PS5.
Yeah, it's literally going to be the only game that's ever come out on 3 generations of consoles. Actually, no. FIFA. I think FIFA.
DMC3, technically.
Technically, yeah. Technically,
PS2,
yeah.
PS3, and PS4.
Technically, San Andreas as well, I guess. I'm thinking like, didn't like FIFA 14 come out on every like PS2, PS3, PS4?
I don't know. Every FIFA game is the same, anyways. So.
Yeah, true. Every sports game's the same. Ain't anything different, but yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it. I mean, I played GTA 5 when it launched. I haven't played the single player for that game since it launched because I played it on the PS4, but I only played the multiplayer with my friends, so never played the single player on the PS4. So I haven't played the single player in a minute.
I only really did the multiplayer on PC. I played a little bit on PS3 and 4, but that's it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Waves to do the heist DLC with me, Waves and Cats, because I want them to get their completion percentage up. They already got it on their list. You can't get any worse than what it's at, right? You might as well get it up.
But that would require me to play it, Snickle.
Yeah, you don't want to play a game with me?
I mean, we got tons of games we can play together. You know, like Never Dead.
Yeah, but like we can heist together on GTA 5. Like that's gonna be so much fun. And maybe, just maybe, we come across, a hacker that puts a bounty on your head to help you get the trophy.
But you know, we could also like throw our body parts around and Never Dead.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna do that at some point. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm definitely looking forward to that. But I also got to get the GTA 5 done before it goes down.
I just don't see the point, right?
What you
Sure,
mean?
I'll get my percentage completion up, but like, I can't get the platinum. So why even?
Yeah, but the chances of possibly coming across a hacker to do it, like, to give you that trophy.
How high is the chance? Like, when was the last time someone got that trophy?
Dude, look at it. Like, people earn that trophy daily, I'm pretty sure.
Let's see.
Hey, fuck, you can even message. I told Katz to do this, but, he doesn't want to. I was like, dude, message the most recent achiever and ask him how they got it. Like, I can't just go on a forum post and be like, hey, is anyone hacking GTA 5 on the... Like, no one's going to openly come out and be like, yeah, I'm hacking it. I can help you get the bounty trophy.
What was the name of the trophy?
Lost in the Wind, I think.
Run Like the Wind.
Run Like the Wind. There's people earning it. I know you're looking at it.
Okay, give me a minute, alright?
See, I told you, it's people are earning that trophy daily.
I don't know,
even though
Snickle,
what?
the person who earned it yesterday was Amogus69 Sus 420. Can you really trust someone with a name like that?
Okay, look past him. Maybe he's an anomaly. Look at the next person.
The other ones are like the 6th September and 4th September. But that was a long time ago at this point.
The 6th of September? That wasn't that long ago.
No, that's a whole ass 3 days ago.
It's not. Is it?
Yeah, we're on the 9th now.
Well, maybe the hacker's been offline for 3 days. All I'm saying is, it can't get any worse, right? Like, yeah, you can't get the platinum unless you get a hacker to get you that trophy, but like, it can't get any worse.
We'll see. We'll see, Snickle.
Hell yeah. That's what I like to hear, because I don't want to play with random people. I want to play with my friends. I want to heist with my friends.
We'll still need like a 4th random, though.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I can convince Katz to play with us.
We'll see. I'm still not convinced yet. So.
Hey, I mean, I haven't been on the game, like, I haven't been on the PS3 version in a while. I actually want to load it up maybe like next week, early next week. Like once I get the multiplayer done for this, I may load that up just to see what's bracking on it, but
Probably gonna have to delete like half my PS3 library.
what you mean? You got that big hard drive?
No, I don't.
What size you got?
Like 100 and something.
That's big. That game is that game's probably like 30 gigs, not even.
That game's probably 100 something.
Hell no, the PS3, they knew how to optimize games. Thus why it's the best console ever.
What do you say we go to your favorite topics, Nicole?
My favorite topic. Yeah, let's move on. That's what I've been playing this week. Moving on. Server shutdowns. Actually, no, before we go into that, games we've picked up, have you picked anything up?
I don't know if I said this before, but I'm just gonna say it now. Let me get the games.
Oh, Wave's got a whole stack of games.
I got these a couple of weeks ago, but I don't remember if I said it on here. But I got Demon Souls, and it's like the non-greatest hits edition, and it comes with the book.
Oh, you got the black case one?
Hell yeah.
That's a good one right there.
And I know you'll like this one, Snickle.
Let me
Fast
hear
and
it.
the Furious Showdown.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's a classic right there. That's a certified classic.
And The Chronicles of Riddick Assault on Dark Athena.
Hell yeah. Those are some slammers.
Some bangers.
Those are some of the best games you can get.
Yeah, I saw them and I'm like, I never see these games. So
How much did you get them for? Like $2?
I wish.
How much was Riddick? Riddick's got to be the cheapest one, right?
Riddick was like $10.
Okay. How much was Fast and Furious? Probably 20.
13.
Oh, that's actually cheaper than typical.
Then I got Demon Souls for 15.
So not bad. I mean, 10 for Riddick is probably a little too high, I would say, but maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe not, you know, the PS3 market just never ending right now, to the moon.
Yeah, I think I bought these right when like everything was starting to go up in price, so
Did you go to that mom and pop shop that had Assassin's Creed 2 for $70?
no. This is from a different one called Game Exchange, I think is what it's called.
Oh, interesting.
And they're pretty cool. They have like a whole thing where they check the prices of what they are on eBay before you buy it. And if it goes up, they keep like the price that it's on the sticker. But if it went under the sticker, they'll sell it to you at that price. So
The question is, can you finesse them by like putting your own listing up?
I mean, probably. I think they'd have to find more than one listing though. So
Yeah, because they used to do that like price matching shit at like Walmart. And then people were like, oh, you price match Amazon like stuff. I'm gonna just make the listing. I would just make the Amazon listing on my own for like nothing.
also, I didn't know that the Riddick game has the Riddick movie in it.
Wait, what? I did not know that either.
Yeah, it says here, includes the remastered 2004 classic Escape from Butcher Bay on 2 Chronicles on 1 disc.
You know what I just realized? You went for the family games. Are you a family
Yeah.
man?
You know, I gotta do all the family games.
You ready to do Riddick?
Hell yeah, how many do we need? It says right here we only need 2 to
I
start.
think you can do it with 2, but it's like 1,000 matches or something.
What, you don't want to play with me?
No, I'm fine with that. I'm letting you know that I think it's like a sub 1% platinum.
Is it really?
Yeah. Just because of the multiplayer.
The whole Riddick franchise is just like
Funny.
an enigma to me. Cause like
As it should be to everybody.
this man Vin Diesel owns the Riddick franchise because he decided to come back for the 3rd Fast and Furious.
3rd Riddick, you mean?
No, for the 3rd Fast and Furious.
Wait.
So not Tokyo Drift, but the one after that one.
Oh, so Fast and Furious? Wait, he owns it
Yeah.
because he came back for that?
Yeah, because apparently he wasn't gonna come back because he still didn't like the script.
Yeah.
But then he was like, "Sure, I'll come back, but I want to own the Riddick franchise."
Why the fuck, out of every franchise to own?
But because of that, apparently this is why this Riddick game is actually kind of good. Because rather than being like other companies at the time, where they were like, "Hey, you put out this game and I want it out tomorrow or whatever."
Yeah.
He like paid out of pocket to pay for this game. He paid out of pocket for it, and he gave them enough time. Like whenever they asked him for a delay, he would delay it. So
wait, he was basically in charge of that game, is what you're saying?
basically,
I mean, I'm kind of impressed, but like, I don't know if I should be.
I'm just impressed because I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I like Riddick is just like a franchise that I'm like, or like an IP that you're like, why would you even want to be involved? But like, sure.
I'm just happy I was able to get the black case for Demon Souls, because I own the game, but it's only on digital, and I've only ever found the red case one.
Yeah, that's how I was when I got it, and the guy looked at me like I was crazy when I asked him, and I was like, "Can you give me the black case one?" And he was kind of like, "Well, what's?" He kind of looked at me like, "Well, what's the difference?" That's one of the things I never understood about like the GameStop people. Like, bro, how you work at GameStop but you don't understand this shit?
Going into GameStop now is just sad. Have you
Yeah.
been into a GameStop recently?
I haven't been into a GameStop, but I have stood on the outside of a GameStop recently, and it's a very sad sight. I mean, I should say Funko Stop.
I went to a GameStop the other day, with my lady friend,
Ooh.
and it's just sad. Like I remember that GameStop specifically. That's where I got my PS4. It's in the mall,
Mm-hmm.
and that GameStop used to be like the GameStop because it was just filled to the brim with video games.
Mm-hmm.
And like now the entire middle floor is just empty. Like not even like Funkos or anything. It's just empty.
That's kind of
And
crazy.
then like a little bit to the side there's like collectible like figures and stuff, and then on the walls there's games. But they're all like PS4, PS5 and those types of games. They did have some PS3 games, but obviously they were all just in sleeves.
Yeah.
So it's just sad. Going to a GameStop is just sad now.
It's funny you mentioned that the GameStop that I bought my PS4 from is actually shut down as well, and it's in a mall. Or it wasn't a mall,
Oh,
I
really?
should say. Yeah. So it's actually interesting. I mean, it's sad. Like brick and mortar shops are definitely a thing of the past almost now, but it's just sad because like not even only like brick and mortar, but like malls are a thing of the past. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of malls that are just like going out of business and like redeveloping into other things. And like even, I mean, I don't know about when you were like in elementary school and stuff, like back in like even middle school, I would say more like sixth, seventh, eighth grade. Like people would go to like the like would go to the mall to hang out.
Yeah, I remember doing that in middle school.
Yeah. And like,
But
it's not even a thing. Like, and that's not even that long ago. Like you're probably talking like not even 10 years ago. Well, I guess 10 years ago. And now it's like, now it's a thing of the past.
it's honestly crazy to see how fast everything has changed in just the last 20 years.
Yeah,
Because, like, 20 years isn't a lot.
it really
And-
isn't.
Because I remember, like, 20 years ago, when I was a kid, like, flip phones were fucking awesome.
Yeah, then they moved to, then now they have these tablet phones, but now like the tablet phones are trying, like all the new Samsung phones are like tablet flip, they're like going back to flip phones in a way,
Yeah.
which is like kind of crazy that is a technology, but like, yeah, it's just everything always circles back at some point. Like getting rid of
Yeah.
malls, like getting rid of brick and mortar shops, like maybe a thing of the past, but like 10, 20 years from now, it's going to be a thing that just comes back.
Yeah. I feel like GameStop would do better if they would just sell games from every era.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they just threw away all their PS3 games. Because, like, I mean, I don't know about, like, over there, but, like, over here, there were still, like, a good amount of people buying PS3 games at my GameStop that's near me.
I
But,
mean,
like, now it's just, like, PS4 games and the current consoles, and it's like, I honestly don't see that many people in there now. So
I mean, I wouldn't say that there was like a good amount of people buying like PS3 games. Like, I don't really know what people were going in there to buy. Like, most people go into like just pre-order a game or something like that. But like, yeah, I agree. I've been saying that for like months now that like, if GameStop would just stop worrying about like basically selling out and doing like Funko Pops and all this shit and like actually turn into a game store where they sold games and they didn't limit it to like their whole reason of limiting it to new generations is because like that's where the mass inflow of people is, right? everyone's coming in looking for the latest and greatest new game. So, you know, that's all we're gonna sell. But like, I don't know. I feel like if they switch to retro gaming, like they would make some sort of money. But I know that there's like I feel like there's a worry of like volatility with retro gaming, which
I
is
just
why
feel
they
like they
may not
should.
go with it.
I'm not even saying they should just do retro gaming. Like, just do all gaming. You know,
Yeah, yeah, any game. I agree. Like,
like
regardless
why
of,
limit yourself to just that?
well, it's because they try. It's like people who like make certain like type of YouTube videos and stuff. Like they limit themselves to what the hot topic is at the time, regardless of if they agree with it or not. It's like the same thing with GameStop. They're limiting themselves to like the newest consoles because that's where their mass influx of people are playing on. So they're the thought is like, well, if we just focus on what makes, you know, where the majority of the people are, that's where we'll make our majority of money. It's like that's why they've shifted to Funko Pops, because those things were like a huge fucking thing however long ago, and they're kind of dying out now. So
Yeah.
they just shift what they're selling to like whatever is like the hot thing. But I mean, I agree, like they can still sell the hot thing, but like why not just have like half of your store be like actual games, and like put the games out so that like I always hated how they put the games out so that like the disc was face, or that the cover art was facing like forward so you could see it, right? Especially on like new games, they would put like fucking 50 copies of them up, and it's like, I get it. Like you don't have to
Yeah.
put 50 of the same game up on the same shelf. Like I fucking get it. But like if they just put them up and they organized them and they put them so that the spines were facing out, like they would be like, that would be fine. And they could fit, if they're worried about space or anything, like you could fit so many games doing that. Like, I don't know. They don't even, it's like they don't even care about games anymore. Like not even like, and it's just going to go to show when like there's more of a shift towards digital now. Like no one goes to GameStop to buy used games anymore. People don't care about that shit, I feel like.
I feel like most people now just buy their one game that they're gonna play the entire year.
Yep. And they buy it
And then
digitally.
that's it. Yeah.
So
The times they are changing.
they really are. It sucks, but they are. But is that all you've picked up?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Cool. We'll get into the next topic, which, again, nothing big has happened. It's server shutdowns. Again, nothing big. So we have on September 15th, FIFA 15 is going down. September 16th, Max Payne 3 is going down, along with in-game purchases of in Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PlayStation 3. September 26th, WWE 2K20 is going down. September 30th, PES 2020 is going down. November 17th, Dead by Daylight, Stranger Things DLC will be getting delisted, but apparently the trophies will be getting changed, so I guess that's nothing to worry about. December 8th, Hardware Rivals is going down. December 16th, Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PS3 is going down. December 31st, NBA 2K20 is going down. February 22nd, One Punch Man, A Hero Nobody Knows is going down, but apparently there's no online trophies. March 1st, WWE 2K19 is going down. I still can't wrap my head around how 2K19 is going down after 2K20, but Take-Two Interactive just does their own thing over there, I guess. You know what I've noticed? A lot of these games are Take-Two Interactive games.
It's kind of crazy, like how much Take-Two owns.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at like Max Payne 3, Grand Theft Auto 5, both Take-Two. Any 2K sports game is Take-Two. So NBA 2K, WWE 2K. Yeah, they own a lot.
Like,
But those are the ones just on this list.
they own all of 2K, obviously, and then
Borderlands.
obviously like BioShock.
Yeah.
They own Rockstar. It's kind of like that big company that you forget owns everything.
Yeah, I went on PSMP to just look back, but they don't really properly list things. But Yeah, basically anything 2K related, like they did. So like all the 2K sports, um, Rockstar, obviously, like we've said. I'm confused. Take Two Interactive helped to publish Mafia 3? Oh, yeah, because it's 2K.
Yeah.
How did I fucking forget that one? Yeah, Borderlands, Bioshock. It's kind of crazy. But, yeah, WW 2K19 going down March 1st. Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes is going down on May 31st for both the PS3 and PS4, but there are technically no online trophies, so I don't know if
I was
that'll
about
be
to
affected.
say. I was about to say I don't remember it having any.
Yeah, there's no online trophies, but people are unclear if online functions will help earn offline trophies in some way. So I don't know. Also on May 31st, Metal Gear Solid 5 on the PS3 will be going down.
I think
And
that one has one online trophy.
yeah, I think isn't it related to like the base or something?
Yeah, you have to like invade someone's base or something like that.
Yeah. So that's that. Again, nothing new. That's all it is. So, all right. Well, hour and a half in, time to get into the meat and potatoes of this podcast. I don't think these topics are going to be too long, honestly. I think we'll kind of
We'll
breeze
see.
through these.
That last one might be a little long.
Yeah, other than the last one, these topics may be easy breeze. So starting off, I actually saw this was posted today. Like I think I was reading this today. Yeah,
Yeah.
the 8th.
Happened today.
Just happened. So PlayStation Studios acquired Fire Sprite, and I was reading just briefly what they made. It seems like they made like the Playroom.
Yeah.
Like,
Which is like weird because I thought Sony Japan made that.
Yeah, when I read that they made the Playroom, I was like, wait, I didn't like Sony already own the company that made the Playroom? Like, am I missing something here? But apparently not.
I thought Sony Japan made it like the what's that team now? The Amiibo team or whatever. The one that made the PS5 like tech demo game that's really good.
You're talking about Astro's Playroom?
Yeah, it's like Team Asobi. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Okay.
That's what they're called. I thought they made it. I guess not. These guys made it. They also made a VR game and a normal game called The Persistence, and I was looking into some more of the games that they've worked on their website. Remember that game Star Citizen?
Yeah.
It's like in development hell. They're working on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I guess they're like one of the supporting teams or something.
Interesting.
They worked on the Persistence Enhanced, which I guess is a PS5 version of the game. The Persistence of VR, which I don't know what the Persistence is, but... And they worked on Run Sackboy Run, so...
Oh, good. So they got Vita experience. Just what Waves wants. The
they
thing
also
I
made
don't...
the Playroom VR, so...
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I'm still up in the air about, like, big companies like Sony and Microsoft, like, buying small developers. Like, I think it's cool and everything, but, like, I don't know. I just look at, like, there's obviously, like, a cost benefit to them buying them. And, like, I just don't, like... Are they buying them to, like, help make games? Are they buying them for their assets? Like, what are they, like, what's the purpose of acquiring them? Because considering what they've made in the past, like, and I'm sure whoever owned the company made a fat payday. So.
I'm fine with So, like, I'm fine with smaller developers getting, or even, like, kind of big developers getting bought out. I'm not really okay with whole-ass publishers, like, with what happened with Bethesda getting bought out. Just because that's like, I don't know, that just feels super like monopolistic to me. I
Yeah.
understand, and I've always kind of liked how Sony does their approach to acquiring studios, where they work with them for a bit, and if they seem to be a good fit, they'll buy them or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
Like with Naughty Dog, before they bought them, they worked on Jack 1 and all the Crash games together, and then Insomniac, which is kind of crazy it took them this long to buy them, but like all the Ratchet games, all this, all the Spider-Man game,
Yeah.
and then they bought them.
I mean, I
And
agree. Them working with them before buying them is definitely like the better way to go, rather than just like saying like, oh, we're gonna buy you because like you're big and you have these IPs and these assets that we want. But
the Fire Sprite, I'm just kind of confused as to why. I mean, obviously Sony must have seen something in the Playroom, even like the Persistence games. They're probably buying them more for their VR expertise than anything, honestly. Because Sony is still working on the PSVR 2, and as much as we meme it up, they're still gonna push that really hard this generation, I'm sure. But I'm just kind of confused as to why this studio specifically. It's also like it was just kind of random, so I don't know.
yeah, I was thinking the same thing when I saw it in the news. I was like, what? Like, this is such a random. It seems like such a. I mean, it's not random because like they've again clearly worked with them in the past, but like it does seem like kind of like a random acquisition. But like, I don't know. I look at it from like a business perspective. Like, I get that this company has worked with them before, but I feel like you should like almost test them more before. But maybe the test for them were the Playroom and everything. But to me, like, I don't really see that. Like the Playroom, even like Astro's Playroom, like to me, that's not really a test, right? That's just like a tech demo. Those are just like tech demos of like what the consoles can do, and I guess it shows that like those developers know how to do that stuff, but there's no context behind them.
That's why I wanted to look more into like what games they made specifically, because I was just confused as to why. Because like when I saw the articles, everybody was just focusing on the Playroom and the Persistence, I think. And so I wanted to see like all the games that they did work on.
Yeah.
And just from like seeing their output, I think Sony's buying them purely for VR stuff.
I mean, if that's the case, I don't know. If that's the case, I think it. I mean, I still think VR. This is me personally. I don't know if you feel the same way. I just feel like VR is not there in accordance to the mainstream. And I think that there's definitely games out there that push it, but like it almost feels like VR almost feels like the PS5. Like there's literally no reason to get it. Like I don't know.
I don't think VR will ever be
mainstream
just cuz I just find VR to be kind of obtrusive. Because like it's not like I'm going to come from a long day of work or whatever and be like, oh, time to strap up my headset and everything and finally play. I think VR will finally like be fun or whatever when it's literally just put on the headgear and then you're in the game already, which I guess is what the Oculus Quest is. But just I don't know. I personally also think that's not going to happen, but Sony is very obviously going to push for it still, or else they wouldn't be making a VR 2. And they pushed really hard for VR 1, the development wise at least. so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. There's just the nuisance of having to like set up and like wear the VR and do all that stuff that makes you like not want to do it. And
Because like when you play VR and it's fun, like it's cool. Like I've only ever played the Oculus at my school because they just had one set up so people can just play it. And when I was playing it, like it was fun as hell, but it's not something I can see myself doing every single day like I do, like on my PS4 or my PS5 or my PS3,
yeah.
because it's definitely more active than I guess those. Because with these, you just grab the controller and like put in the game and you're ready to play.
Yeah.
With VR, there's like a whole bunch of stuff you need to put. You have to make sure you have enough room. Like for some VRs, you need to have a whole ass like room just for them.
Yeah, which is like so inconvenient.
Like the Valve Index, I think requires like a whole room just for itself. So
I mean, it's definitely like cool technology. I've only personally played extensively VR. I've only played Drive Club VR, which was like, I didn't even play it like probably truly how I should have. Like, I only played that with like a controller. Um, but like, it was definitely like the experience and everything is definitely like really cool. Like being able to play a racing game where like you're sitting in the cockpit and you can literally like look all around and like see every little detail is like definitely really cool. Not even in the cockpit, like when you're like racing normally, like if there's a car like to your left, right, like you can just like turn your head and look over and like see what's happening over there. It's definitely like a cool experience, but like the process of like setting the VR up and everything is just it's a nightmare.
yeah, I think the game that I played, I don't remember the name of it, but it was like super fun because like the whole games thing was like juggling stuff with bullets.
Yeah.
So like you could throw like your gun at an enemy and then that'll put them up in the air. Then with your other gun you can like shoot at them to juggle them, while and then you can also like juggle the gun that you threw to get
It
extra points and stuff. And like
wasn't
it's like a
super
lot
hot,
of
was
fun.
it?
No, it wasn't super hot.
I
I
kind of
forget what
want
it's
to
called.
I kind of want to play the VR again just to play super hot because I have my VR came with super hot VR, but I don't it's just like the whole process of setting the VR up is just like so like it's more of an annoyance than it is to like play it. And then like the other part from like a streaming perspective or like a content creation perspective is like I can't even stream while I play VR because I can't interact. I mean, I can stream, I just can't interact with anybody
Yeah.
because I got that big ass, giant ass headset on my head, and the only way I can see anything is if I take it off.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where this acquisition goes, per se. Whether we see a game come out or, you know, they just end up getting dissolved into some other team or, you know, whatever ends up happening. But like you said, I think with how hard they're pushing VR again, I think they're definitely going in for that reason. Or that's why they were acquired.
Because like most of their games, like yeah, they made the Playroom, but other than that, all their other games have been VR focused or a port from a VR game. So
Yeah. So it makes sense for them to acquire them for that reason, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't
Like you
think
said, I don't think VR will become mainstream until you can like put it on wirelessly and not have to worry about controllers or anything else. But like, I don't think we're even close to having that kind of technology.
yeah, and the only way it's gonna move forward is if they keep trying. So I
Yeah,
mean, let them keep trying, I guess. But
yeah.
I don't think anything that comes out of that studio will really care about. So
Yeah, as long as like the VR doesn't turn out as like the U-Draw tablet for THQ, you know, they can keep doing all they want to.
yeah, as long as it doesn't fucking destroy Sony as a company.
They can do it all up. All right. Up next, this should be a quick hitter. This was a funny topic that came up and then got um pushed back. Basically, Horizon Forbidden West was going to come out Um, it's obviously coming out for the PlayStation 3 and or PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. If you bought the PlayStation 4 version, they were not going to give a free upgrade of the game to the PlayStation 5, which was kind of interesting. And I think people were angry about it. I think people were also angry about a few other things, like if you bought the like deluxe version of the game, it only came with a code and not a physical game or something like
This
that.
whole situation is just so stupid. Like,
Yeah, this whole Horizon Forbidden West situation is very interesting. Also, I've heard people like, it's funny, I've heard people get very tilted over people calling it Horizon 2 and not calling it Horizon Forbidden West, which, like, to be fair, it has a 2 in the logo, so like it kind of is Horizon 2, but like,
I mean, for all intents and purposes, it is Horizon 2. Like,
yeah, but like people just got
fucking like sure about it.
Yeah, it was just funny because like people were like on Twitter getting like pissed off about it. Like, stop calling it Horizon 2. It's Horizon Forbidden West. Like, well, if it's if narratively it's a sequel, like, and it's the second game that came out, like, doesn't that mean
like, don't
2?
call it God of War 2018, call it God of War 4 then.
Yeah. Yeah, like what? Like I don't know. But yeah, so if you bought the PS4 version, you weren't going to get the free PS5 upgrade. Now, it's weird because I kind of agree with this, but like I kind of don't. I have both ways. I feel both ways about it because if you think about it, we had a not identical, but we had a similar situation to Ghost of Tsushima, where we had Ghost of Tsushima come out on the PS4, and then a year later it got a PS5 release, right? Now, they weren't released at the same time. That's the only thing that doesn't make these identical. But they are similar into the way of they were on the PS4 and then also on the PS5. I don't know, man. The way that I feel is like, and this is why like I go both ways about it, is like, if you bought it for one console, like, you only get it for one console. Like, but at the same time, I do understand the upgrading and why buy a game 2 times, especially on the PS5, because you can just play backwards compatible games, which also just doesn't make sense to me. If you have a PS4 version of the game and you own a PS5, then just put the PS4 disc in the PS5 and play it.
I don't really care about like the whole upgrade thing, honestly. Like, I like whatever. To me, I was just kind of like, why are you giving a collector's edition and no disc? And why are you giving a deluxe edition and all these other ones with a steelbook and no disc?
Yeah, do you guys forget what the purpose of a steelbook is?
Like, if you're obviously a collector's edition is for people who are collectors, people understand that people who are collectors would rather have the disc than a digital code.
Yeah, they really fumbled that one. Like they missed the whole purpose of like what having a steelbook is for. So,
and like, I kind of get why people were angry about not having it free, especially because I think the only one that we've had that's like day and date on both consoles, which is Miles Morales,
yeah,
did come with the free upgrade, I believe.
mm-hmm.
So I can understand that, but I don't know. This whole situation is just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The funny thing is it's almost like Guerrilla, like it's almost like Guerrilla or like Sony made these decisions, and then like they instantly got feedback and then changed them. It's like, did you guys even think about the decision before you made it? It's like you said, like, who buys a collector's edition with a steelbook that doesn't have a disc in it? Like, what the fuck is the point of having the steelbook then? Like,
I didn't read the entire article, but I saw somewhere where it was like the plan was to have it as a free upgrade to begin with, or something like that. But like, I don't know, like, this is just so stupid.
This is how I feel, and I feel like it's personally being fumbled by Sony and I don't really know Xbox, but Sony. The whole upgrading thing is just being fumbled because people because of how things were handled in the mid generation, people almost feel like they are entitled to a free upgrade to a game if it's coming out on both consoles.
I think the issue is that like look at let's take a look at like PS2 to PS3, right? Like they both had the same game, quote unquote. Like there was a Force Unleashed game on PS2 and there was a Force Unleashed game on PS3,
But they were
but for
different
all
games.
intents and purposes they were like different. They
Yeah.
weren't necessarily the same game. So like I think the thing with this now is that there are basically the same games. It's just one looks prettier and runs better. I think Sony could have just alleviated this with making it just a PS5 exclusive, like they should have, honestly. But
Yeah, or like again, like there's a few ways that they could have gone about it where like they didn't have to have like a free upgrade to the like a way that you could have gone about it is like if you so the PlayStation 5 is backwards compatible with the PlayStation 4 games. So if you buy
Yeah.
the PlayStation 4 version of the game and you put it in the PlayStation 5, the game knows that you're then on a PlayStation 5, so it downloads a patch that's a PlayStation 5 patch for the game.
yeah, and I think
I don't know why they can't do that. Or another take that they could take if they didn't want to do it for free is if you buy the PlayStation 4 version of the game and you want to play the PlayStation 5 version, then you have to then buy an upgrade. They're giving it away for free, which like isn't wrong, but like at the same time, you should have to pay for the games between the regardless of if they're the same game, right? Like Assassin's Creed 4 between the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4 is the same game. Other than graphically, it's the same game. Now, if the PlayStation 4 was backwards compatible, could I have put my PlayStation 3 version in and played it? Yes. But then, like, would there have been two versions of the game? Would there, like, I don't know. I just feel like them giving it away for free, like, people feel like they're entitled to almost like two games now. Even though it's the same game, they feel like they're entitled to two games. And it's like, you really shouldn't be. And I get that they want people to they want people to buy, people that can't buy a PlayStation 5, they want them to buy the game now on PlayStation 4 and then play it on PlayStation 5 when they get a PlayStation 5. But why not just give people the ability by putting the disc in and letting them download a PS5 patch? Why does it have to be this big announcement of you can now get the free PS5 upgrade? Like, why does it have to be like that? It's like this big announcement. Like it should be standard practice.
it's because Xbox does this better actually. Like if you go buy an Xbox game now, it doesn't say like Xbox One or Series X on the case.
It just says
It
Xbox,
just says
right?
Xbox. Yeah, and that's because it doesn't matter what version you buy. The Xbox will just know which console you're playing on and load that version up. So like what you were saying essentially.
Yeah, I feel like
I think it's called smart delivery, which like back then just looked more like, oh, that's your fancy name for a free upgrade or whatever. But no, it's like it's actually like pretty smart.
yeah, I mean it makes sense. And then the other way to alleviate all this bullshit is any game that's being released on both consoles, give it the same trophy list. I've not seen a
Yeah.
PS4, PS5 shared trophy list. I don't think we ever will. But
I don't
give
think
it
it's
the
gonna happen purely because PS5 has the
bigger images.
trophy tracking.
Oh,
so.
yeah, you're right. But like again, sharing a trophy list alleviates having to have two versions. Like you said, the way that Xbox is doing it, because I do remember hearing that. Like that alleviates then having to openly, publicly say, get the free upgrade. Like if your PlayStation 5, if you buy a PlayStation 4 version of the game and you put it in your PlayStation 5, your PlayStation 5 should be smart enough to be like, oh, you want to play this with a PS? Let's go and see if this has a PS5 patch for it. And if it doesn't, then we'll play it on the PS4 version. Because clearly there's going to be PS4 games that don't have PS5 enhancements, and you're going to be playing it as it would look on the PS4.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know understand why they have to boast this big thing and we have this free upgrade and we have this and we have that and then people feel like they're entitled to two versions of the game and to this and to that, where if you just do it Xbox way, you just get one version of the game and that's the game. You bought the game. You want to play it on the PS4? Play it on the PS4. You want to play it on the PS5? Play it on the PS5. Regardless, you got the same achievements, same trophies. You got the same. You can transfer your saves because they're uploaded to the cloud. You know, it's all integrated. It's like they're trying to segment the two. Like, what's the point of you doing backwards compatibility if you're then trying to like segment the consoles? Like, you should be wanting them to. You should almost want the PS5 to be pulling in what the PS4 can do and making them feel like they're integrated.
Yeah, it's just, sometimes I just feel like Sony doesn't know what they're doing, honestly.
Well, if you want me to be fair, I'm not going to say this is the first time, because it's not, but it's the first time on a very large scale that they're dealing with backwards compatibility. They did deal with it with the fat PS3, but they literally took it out within like a few years of it being a feature. So it wasn't something that they dealt with for a whole generation of consoles. This is definitely something that's going to be a feature for probably every console after this. So like they're obviously trying to iron it out, but this is something that Xbox has been able to do for, you know, since Xbox One came out. I mean, I think the 360 could even play backwards compatible original Xbox games. Like, this is something Xbox has been doing, you know, since their second console ever came out. So like, it was a feature that was already assumed, and they've ironed out all of their issues that they've had to deal with from generation to generation to generation, where Sony's just dealing with this on a major scale for the first time.
Yeah, which comes from Sony also being like, who cares about old games? So.
Yeah, which if you're going to be backwards compatible, you're like contradicting yourself at that point. So, you know, I don't really fully understand it. I agree. I agree with the way that Xbox takes it. I mean, I get why there's PS4 and PS5 games. I totally understand it, but it's just hard, right? It's hard because you don't want to just label it as a PlayStation game, right? Like, you don't want to do that, because then someone will buy it and be like, well, I tried to put it in my PlayStation 3 and it didn't, like, you know, there'll be a dumbass that says that, and then that's a whole issue, you know? But I don't know.
But you could say the same thing with an Xbox, right? Like,
yeah,
with the 360, you know, like,
yeah, but
I tried to put my Xbox One game in my 360, but I didn't, like,
yeah,
I don't know, that seems like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. I mean, I guess the way of getting around it is, you know, at the top of the game where it says like PS4 or PS5, it literally shows both the logos. And it's just assumed that this works on both, like, it's assumed that it will work on both consoles, and it will know which one to do and what patch to do. And if you put it in a PS5, it will be a PS5 game. If you put it in a PS4, it'll be a PS4 game. And the consoles are smart enough to realize that. Because I feel like when you segment it, like, this is a PS4 game, this is a PS5 game, then people get confused and they're like, well, if I bought the PS4 game, am I going to be able to have the cool graphics that the PS5 version has? And then you have people that are like, well, I bought the PS5 version, but I want to play it on my PS4 now. And it's like, well, like, now you have to buy two separate copies of the game, where, like, realistically, you should just have to buy the PS4 version. Like, and the other thing that sucks is you can only upgrade, you can't downgrade. So if you buy the PS5, you can't downgrade to the PS4. It's like Godfall, right? Like, if you bought Godfall on the PS5 and now you want to play the PS4 version, you have to go buy the game again. You can't downgrade it.
Yeah, but that's like,
that's a
like
stupid
example. That's an only trophy hunter thing. No, you know, like,
oh, downgrading, yeah. I mean, I agree, but like,
I don't think, and like, at the end of the day, Sony's going for the general public, you know. So,
well, as like a trophy hunter and a game collector, it's hard to, like, it's almost like I don't even want to buy the PS5 version because, you know, if I want to play Horizon Forbidden West twice, like, I might as well buy the PS4 version and then just use the free upgrade to the PS5 version. Now I have both versions for the price of one.
Yeah, but we know how you are. Like, how you did with Valhalla. You bought both versions, and you
Yeah,
got a Valhalla free upgrade.
Yeah,
Also,
like a fucking dumbass because that's just the collector coming out in me. Like,
yeah,
and
that's
down the
what I mean.
line, like Horizon is going to be $20 3 years down the line. Let's not joke ourselves. Like that's how the first one was. That's how this one's going to be. Like I'm not expecting this game to. You can literally go get Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition for like $15.
yeah,
So it's not like it's going to break the bank, but I don't know. I do think that there should be some sort of clarification between the like I don't think they should just say like this is PS4, this is PS5. If it's coming out on both consoles, give it both of the logos up on the top banner. You can use the PS5 cover art if you want to, because that would be a whole nother thing. Well, the PS5 has a white banner and the PS4 has a blue one. Well, how do we know which one's what? It's just use the PS5 one, put both the logos. If you buy the PS5 version, or if you buy this version of the game, you can put it in either console, and it'll work. And it knows what console it's going into, and it'll play the right game with the right graphics and the right frame rate and the right resolution and everything. So
I think they should do it how Xbox is doing it.
yeah,
Honestly. Yeah. So
will they? Probably not.
they won't. As an addendum, I guess, every game after this that is a PS4 and PS5 game, to get the PS5 upgrade, you will have to pay $10.
Oh,
They say this will apply to next God of War and Gran Turismo 7 and any other exclusive cross-gen PS4 and PS5 title published by Sony Interactive Entertainment.
Interesting. So they're taking the stance of paying for the upgrade rather than getting it for free.
After this one, yeah.
Very interesting. I mean, that's good. I'm glad that they're doing that, but I mean,
I feel like you should have to pay more for like the newer version.
Well, they're missing out on like you're getting 2 games for free. Like it doesn't seem fair to the people, the developers. I mean, they put their time into this game, and yeah, like who knows how much effort it was to make it work on the PS5 or PS4 or to optimize either one, but like regardless, like the free upgrade thing I've never understood, because you're literally giving a game away for free. It's the same game, but like it's free. It has different features. It's a different game because of the features, regardless of if you're going from 30 frames to 60 frames. That's a big difference in games.
You know what? Sninkle COD Ghost did that.
Did it?
Had a free upgrade. Yeah, I remember now because I did that with COD Ghost.
I think that's probably the only PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4 game, or PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4 game that did that. Did Advanced Warfare do that as well?
I'm not sure.
It's got to be the only one, or one of the only ones that did that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree. I agree that there should be you should have to pay for an upgrade.
Yeah.
There's one of 2 ways of dealing with this, or you can do it both ways. I don't think that that's the way to do it, because both can't exist. You either do it Xbox's way, where it doesn't matter, and you buy one version of the game and it works for everything, or you make people pay for an upgrade.
But I think they should make you if we're gonna make, and so far this is just like Call of Duty and Sony upgrades and Sony games, I mean, for next gen titles. If you're gonna make them $70, then you should pay $10 more than the PS4 version if you want to upgrade to it, you know.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, because PS4 is $60 and PS5 is $70, so it makes sense to charge $10 for that difference fee, basically.
So I guess that's where we stand on that.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see their path forward, but honestly,
it's a whole messy situation. I just think the dumbest thing they did was not put a disc in like the higher versions of the game.
Yeah, that has to be one of the most interesting and dumbest things that I've ever seen in a game. Like, the whole purpose of you owning the Steelbook is to put a disc in it. So why would you Why would you?
Also, I think
Why would you sell it with a code?
now that I remember, I think the other issue that there was that there was no upgrade path before. So like
No,
the only way you could get the PS4 and PS5 version was if you bought the digital deluxe edition or the collector's edition.
correct. That is correct. Which is why the whole upgrade thing like came out. That's why they ended up giving them the upgrade thing
Yeah.
in general, was because they did not include it originally. All right. Well, I mean, again, we'll have to wait to see what the path forward is for in the future. I mean, obviously they're gonna make you pay for an upgrade in the future, but we'll see anything else. But that's Horizon
Plus, I think these last few games are the only ones that are going to be
on both.
next gen. I mean, on both. So
Yeah. I mean,
so get a PS5, you shitters.
yeah. Once we're getting into our next topic, there's a new PS5 model that's apparently worse than the original one. So I don't
let's
know.
put quotations on worse because it's not actually worse.
Yeah. So the only thing you can go into detail on this. The only thing that I read about this is that this PS5 will have a bigger heat sink.
No, this PS5 is going to have a smaller
Smaller heat sink.
Yeah. So this is very obviously due to the scarcity of materials right now. That's why we're having chip shortages and shit.
Yeah.
So this is Sony trying to cut product and try to make these cheaper so they can make more. And it is smaller and it is technically worse, but it's worse by like a small minuscule amount that it doesn't matter at all.
Nice.
So it's just a whole bunch of clickbaity nonsense. So in the end of the day, this is going to be better for everyone because that means cheaper to make PS5s and less components to make a PS5, which means they can make more PS5s. And yeah.
I guess the only thing that sucks is that there's going to be two versions of this console that are going to cosmetically look the same, but they're going to have different internals.
It happens every day, you know, like that's not something that's just PS5. Like the Switch, a year into its life cycle, had a new version that had a better battery, but they look aesthetically the same.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
the same
that's
thing
true.
with the PS4 in its launch model. It had two different PS4s. There was two different model PS4s, but they were in the same, but one took less power at the very beginning. Then there was another one that had the faceplate removed and it was just a matte faceplate and not a glossy one like the launch one. So like this is just a thing that happens and people are overblowing it
as usual.
You know? As usual. So everybody just needs to chill the fuck out.
Yeah. Expect
the PS3 also. The PS3 has aesthetically same ones, but one could play PS2 games and had some glossy finish.
Yeah, you know, had like few extra USB ports.
Yeah. So I don't know. Well, then there was like the PS3 Slim where there was the glossy finish with the buttons, and then there's the one that doesn't have a glossy finish. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess it's good that it's going to be more accessible to people now, which is like the most important thing. So that's good.
Yeah.
But
sorry, what were you gonna say?
Nothing.
But yeah, like, don't worry about the new PS5. The one thing that did come out of this, which they don't talk about in this article, is so the guy who found this out, his name is Austin Evans. He's a YouTuber.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Oh god, he just blew my ears out. He
Yeah,
made a
he's got a very
video.
annoying voice.
He made a video basically talking about how the Sony fanboys are threatening, like doxing him and sending him death threats and stuff just because he told them this, that it's technically worse or whatever. So that goes into another part of this topic, like fanboys.
Yeah.
Like, y'all chill the fuck out. It's a piece of plastic.
Well, we talked about this like originally, like when the consoles like came out. I'm pretty sure about how there's just like ridiculous amounts of people who just like follow like this whole console war bullshit for like almost, I don't want to say no reason, but yeah, no reason. There's literally no reason. Like you're fighting and threatening people over a piece of plastic that literally doesn't care about you. Like they just want your cash.
Yeah, like everyone, chill the fuck out. Like there's more important things to life than if you're someone made fun of your console or whatever.
Yeah, and the other thing is like if he is statistically proving that it's worse, then like again, the main word in it, statistically, like that means that there's facts to back it up. It's not like it's not a subjective statement. It's not like he came out and he's like, "You smell like shit." Like like he has statistics to back up why it's worse. Like
He has statistics to back up why you smell like shit.
yeah, and if he has statistics to back up, like if he goes, if someone goes to you like, "Wow, like if someone said, "Wow, you smell like shit," right? And you never heard someone say that before, and you're like, "Wow, why would they say that? They're so rude. What an asshole." But then you had like 5 other people tell you that, right? Or they like surveyed people and they were like, each 5 of them said you smell like shit. Like you can't get mad at all of them. Like you probably smell like shit. Like that's facts. That's not cap, as the young bloods would say. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've never understood fanboying over stuff to like that extent. I mean, I know like I get like supporting what you like. I think that is healthy to do, but to fanboy and then to give death threats to somebody over a video game, like come on now, people.
I think the peak of my fanboyism, and it wasn't even like this type of fanboyism is like crazy. Yeah. It was just me being like, no, the PS3 is good. It was like the PS3 era, and that was because I was literally the only kid in my entire school with a PS3.
Yeah, you had to justify it to yourself why it was superior.
Which, like, even now, looking back then, like, was stupid.
Yeah, but you know how you are when you're a kid. Like, people make fun of you for, like, dumbass reasons, and you're like, oh my god, this is life or death. I gotta figure out why this is like that.
Yeah.
So, well, everyone get themselves a PS5 now. And then put it on your shelf and never play it like your boy.
Because there's no point. Unless you want to play Returnal.
There's literally no point. You can play Horizon on your PS4. You don't even need a PS5.
I think they put out a 60 FPS update for Zero Dawn, now that I think about it.
Oh, that would be interesting to go back and play.
I might have to, because I still need to finish up all the DLCs. So.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I mean, I already did the New Game Plus, but like that would be interesting to go back and do New Game Plus on that. All right.
It's time for an awesome topic.
Time to get into last topic here, which Waves brought up very last second, but I talk about it probably too much, honestly. So, this is a topic this is Game Rant, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is an article by a good guy named Rory Young, stating that the funny thing is this article is actually from June, but this article is discussing how the PS3 and Xbox 360 generation is named the Golden Era of Gaming using Metacritic data. So this isn't like someone coming out of their ass saying like, I really have a lot of nostalgia for the PS3. Like they're backing this up with Metacritic scores and Metacritic data to prove that the PS3 and 360 era is the superior era for gaming, which I think is very interesting.
I mean, I kind of agree, and I don't even know what games he like looked at with Metacritic data, but PS3 era was just like crazy when you think about it. Like, there was just so many good games, and then also it's like there were so many, especially like early PS3 before 2013. Like, there were so many games that were different from each other.
Yeah,
It was like something we were talking about before we started recording. It's like so many games that were the same.
yeah. The I'm not even gonna mention the PS5 in this because like it doesn't even have enough games to like stand a ground on this. But like, there's not even like every PS4 game that came out. I'm not gonna say every, but a majority of PS4 games that came out, like they all felt the same. Like they felt like the same game, just reskinned. Like look at like all the Assassin's Creed games that have come out, like in this new trilogy, that being Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. Like they're literally the same game reskinned for all three of them. But then go back to the PS3 era, like look at like where AC even started. So look at like Prince of Persia to then AC1 to then AC2. Now granted, AC2, Revelations, and Brotherhood, or 2 Brotherhood and Revelations, they all kind of played the same, right? So like you could argue like, yeah, they were just skins like these 3, but then like look at like AC3 to then AC4. Like the games just evolved so much, and each one of them felt like a new game, not only from places you went to or assets, but also, you know, movements, animations, like everything. They felt like new games, where like everything nowadays is just like the same shit, just reskinned. Like I can't even mention to you like what are the Need for Speed games on the PS4?
Heat, Payback,
In 2015.
in 2015.
So you have 2015, that was to me a piece of shit. And like Payback and Heat feel like, I mean, I've not played them, but just looking at them, they look like the same game for the most part. But then go back and look at like Need for Speed games on the PS3. You had, oh, I guess Rivals technically too, but you know, we won't worry about that. On the PS3, you had Undercover, which was a pile of shit, but it was something. Then you had the Shift franchise, Shift 1, Shift 2, or the Shift sub franchise, which were simulators. Then you had Hot Pursuit, which was a closed course game. Then you had The Run, which was a cinematic game. Then you had Most Wanted 2012, which went back to open world, but no really like customization or anything. Like each one of those games, each one of those Need for Speed games was like a different experience, a different game per se.
Yeah.
Where like I feel like you can't really say that for the PS4. That's just one example of a franchise.
No, the other thing with like the PS3 era was just like the weird and like crazy and kind of cool like multiplayers also.
Yeah, which is actually interesting because I remember at the time back when those came out, like people complained, and I was probably one of them that would complain like that they were shoehorned in and that they were in a game that shouldn't have had them. But now when you look back at it, like they were really cool to have in the game.
Yeah, like I don't know about you, but like I loved the Assassin's Creed multiplayer back then.
Oh, I played the fuck out of it. I played the
I love
absolute
that
fuck out of
multiplayer,
it.
and then that one, and it's just crazy to think, really, like
Well, let me look through
back
my
then.
list here because I obviously completed a lot of stupid fucking multiplayer games.
Like, it's just crazy to think which games had multiplayer back then. Like,
Well, look at like what we've been playing recently, Max Payne 3.
Max
Perfect
Payne
example
3.
of a game that like why would this have multiplayer? Because the previous ones didn't, even though they didn't have the functionality. But like going and playing it, you're like, this kind of dope. Like,
Yeah, and like stuff like God of War had a multiplayer.
yeah,
Like, that's crazy to think about now.
Batman Arkham Origins.
And they all had their own like spin on it also. And like Batman Arkham Origins, you could say kind of lives on through like Predator hunting grounds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like I can't really think about another multiplayer game that like played like the God of War extension. I don't know if you played it at all, but I think I played like a few matches of it. It was like super cool, and now you can't play it. I think didn't they shut it down?
No, I think it's still up. You
No.
can't get I think you can't redeem the season or the online pass or something. You have to buy it digitally or something like that.
Oh.
There's something weird going on with it. But yeah, there was just like a lot of games that had like cool concepts like that. Like one game that I advise everybody to play is like Driver San Francisco. Like just the thought process and like the gameplay of Driver San Francisco is dope. But then tie that into all of the multiplayer modes that they added into the game, and it's like literally havoc. Like it's crazy how much fun it was. And,
Yeah,
and
then
some of them were definitely shoehorned in, but like that made it interesting.
games were just more interesting, I guess, back then. Like I feel like so many games now are the same. And I don't know if that's just me being older now or whatever. But like we got so many hack and slashes back then. And they all kind of had like their own gimmick, and like sure they were a gimmick. I remember people like not liking them because of the gimmick. But like they were different and they were fun to like figure out like how to play with that gimmick. There were like different kinds of shooters back then, like Time Shift. I remember people like shitting on that game for the time gimmick, but like it was awesome, like pausing time and then stealing a gun from someone's hands. And then like you unpause time and they just react like, what the fuck happened with my gun?
Well, it's kind of like that's kind of how I feel about like Driver San Francisco, because that has the whole feature where you can like basically shift into other people's cars. You can kind of like
which is awesome.
Like zoom out of the map and then like literally teleport into someone's car, and they're literally having like a random conversation about something. But like imagine that, but then taking that into multiplayer and playing like capture the flag or tag or something like that. Like just imagine, like it's so much fun. Like you're driving down the road and you're like, any one of these cars that I'm passing, like a random person could spawn into and like fuck me up.
It was awesome back then. Like now you don't get anything.
I feel like
Now it's
developers and
just-
stuff try to be like safe with the stuff that they make, which like I definitely can understand to an extent, but it definitely doesn't feel like anything special. And now when people add multiplayer, like it's got to be the next Grand Theft Auto Online or next, games as a service. People don't make multiplayers to like make an interesting multiplayer anymore.
Now it's either they're trying to make what's it called, like the next Destiny, or they're trying to make the next GTA Online.
Yeah, it's not like, God of War Ascension or whatever, where you're just doing it, you're doing it just because you want to do it. But I mean, I always thought that about like The Last of Us, right? Like I played The Last of Us single player, and then when I went to play the online, because I used to play the online like a decent amount with my friend back in the day, and when we played it, I was always like, I always felt like it was something that was just like almost shoehorned in. Like you play this game that's all about like survival and everything and like being on your own and all that in the single player, and then you go play the online where it's like competitive and all this shit, but it can be a very tactical game online. And that's why I'm kind of excited if Last of Us Part 2 has like a battle royale-esque game mode, because I think it would work great with the game.
I love The Last of Us multiplayer. The only thing that I hated was like the what's it called, the whole keeping
Journey.
your village alive.
Yeah, the journey
thing.
bullshit. I wish that wasn't a thing, because I didn't mind it being a thing, but when they gave you like 100% missions, it was very stressful, even though you had like 3 matches to do it or something. It was just very stressful. You know, like, oh, I got to get so many headshots or so many assists or, you know, something stupid.
Yeah,
So,
but
you
I
mentioned, like
remember playing
Assassin's
that with
Creed, like that's another one where like where you wouldn't even expect that to work.
like Batman Arkham Asylum. It's just, I don't know. I just felt like games in general were just more interesting back then, just to just play.
Well, I think you mentioned it when I was streaming last night, but like, and I don't know, like, I can't really break down, you know, how you do this, but games need to become, or games have lost the gaminess of them.
Yeah.
Every
Oh
game,
yeah. When I said I wish games were more gamey, because that's
yeah.
because I was in a part in Max Payne 3 where I was walking a shit ton. And I was like, God, I forgot about fucking parts in games where they just force you to walk. It's just like, just let me play the game.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, I agree that that comes down to like everything. Like, you know, I know a big thing right now is like simulation games, simulating like you know, like Microsoft Flight Sim and all that. Like that stuff is cool and everything, but like at the same time, like you should also have the extreme opposite of like a game where you don't have that. It's like NBA, right? All we get is NBA 2K or NBA Live. Like, where's the NBA Street? Like, where's the opposite
Yeah.
where like you have the fun side of it? Like, not everyone wants to play a simulation style of a game, and we don't even have the option for that nowadays. Like, and that's what games go for. Games have to be, you know, they have to be the most realistic game, and you know, you have to, you know, you have to eat and everything, and you gotta sleep, and you know, you gotta like Red Dead 2, where you have to like do all this. Oh, you wanna get your dead eye back? You gotta fucking smoke these cigs. Like, there's just like so much that you have to worry about, and like that's one of the things. Like a game that I would love to play, but like I don't know if I would want to go through the hardest difficulty is like The Witcher 3, because like I feel like that's a game where like you have to like utilize everything that you have, which is part of the
Yeah.
difficulty, but like it just makes you have to worry about so much. And maybe it's not that much. Maybe I'm just over, you know, exaggerating here, but it,
I just missed it. I just miss it when games were more about the gameplay and less about, like, hey, look at this environment and look how realistic we made it look. And like, I'm not saying there's no part, there isn't like a part where that's valid, right? Like a lot of games that I like being in the environment or whatever. But like now it's all about just that and how pretty can we make it, and how impactful is the story to, and does it make you cry and all that. And we've
Mhm.
forgotten, I feel like we've forgotten about like what makes games unique. And like that's one thing that like I like about Max Payne 3 is like it uses its gaminess, I guess, for lack of a better word, to like kind of do cool stuff, like the whole shoot dodge thing, and the whole and like we said earlier, where we can, where if you melee someone, it'll show Max like holding the gun to their head, and the game's not like, oh, press R2 to make this happen or whatever. Like you just kind of know, like, hey, press R2
I
to
should be
shoot
doing
him.
this. But like you also have the option to not do it if you don't want to.
Yeah. And now it's like, if it's something like that, it has to be because like, oh, I just found this final guy of this crime boss ring, and it's during a cutscene, and then after he's done giving his big monologue, now I can press R2 because the game developers deemed it worthy for me to press R2. It's just like, and then so many games now are just like the same. It's the same mechanics. Like it's all either The Witcher, with a big open world, but only they don't do it as good because they're not as good as writing side characters as they are.
Yeah.
um they're not as good as making environments as they are. They're just not good at world building as they are. Which I guess you can't really say they are anymore because of Cyberpunk, but but
Yeah.
like even just going from like combat and stuff in games, like the most fulfilling combat I've had in video games of recent years, not counting DMC5 because DMC5 will always be, but like would be like Sekiro.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same for me.
And like you could also say Ghost of Tsushima, but
That'd be like a dumbed down version of Sekiro.
yeah. And that's because Sekiro did something different, you know,
like no disrespect on Ghost of Tsushima, but like they just made it more accessible to the mass. Where like Sekiro is like you really got to learn if you want to not get punished.
And like the other thing with Sekiro is like you had all these tools and you can use them like whenever you wanted to, as long as you had like the item or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like there are sure like gamey games that happen, but that's because their developers are known to be like gamey games, you know? Like Resident Evil will always kind of have like this gaminess to it or whatever. Like with the speed runs and infinite ammo and all this other stuff, just like making it more fun.
It's almost it's almost like a gamey game you're getting from like a AAA market now, because or you're getting from, sorry, not AAA, you're getting from an indie market.
Yeah.
And your AAA market is now exclusive to
the AAA market. Is just all cinematic,
you know, emotional, realistic. Like if your game doesn't have realistic graphics, like you're not in the AAA market. Basically, like that's the only way to be in the AAA market, apparently.
Which like isn't a bad thing, but sorry, I almost fell off my chair.
Dang, he's about to break his neck.
Which like isn't a bad thing, but but it's just like everything's becoming the same and it's kind of becoming boring to play. So
yeah, everything's kind of like the same. So as part of this article, it talks about like just goes on to say like which consoles are the best and top games and top generations and everything. It says, with regards to what console generation is gaming's golden era, the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 generation has won, as based on aggregate reviews of 19 of the industry's top gaming franchises. The analysis was put together by Fandom Spot and took into account 19 major gaming franchises, each spanning multiple generations, including Call of Duty, FIFA, and Grand Theft Auto, and then tracked the Metacritic score of each of these releases from each franchise, or at least the games with the highest and lowest scores. 15 out of the 19 best rated games from each franchise were released during the PS3 and Xbox 360 generation. That's crazy to put into perspective.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So like 75% of of major companies that put games out had their best rated game on the PS3 and 360 generation.
You know what's another type of game that it's been missing now?
What's that?
Games like BioShock.
Like, yeah.
Like, the last one I can think about is Prey.
Like, not like open world, but not like linear, but like in betweenish.
Like, it's like that in betweenish, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't really know the last. I guess Prey probably would have. There's so many like small games that come out here and there that like it's hard to track.
I'm sure there's like a small game about it, but the last one I could think that's like pretty big was Prey. There's small games for every game now.
Oh yeah. Like indie games or AA games. So games that
Yeah.
were mentioned as part of this golden era of PS3 and 360 releases included Fallout 3, Grand Theft Auto 4, FIFA 10, and COD 4. While the chart doesn't clarify, it can perhaps be assumed that the backwards compatible titles like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 and Halo Combat Evolved may have also been included in the PS3 360 generation's total too. Regardless, it's easy to see how the PS3 360 generation could be considered the golden era of console gaming. And then it says behind the PS3 360 generation, the PS2 and Xbox generation came in second place with 13 of the 19 games on the list but 13 of the 19 games on the list were ultimately available on the PS2 and Xbox. Showing that many of the best games for major franchises were released across both generations.
It's also like, I feel like most franchises during the PS4 only got like one release and that was it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It goes on to say that it would be more appropriate to say that the PS2 Xbox generation is the golden era of console gaming, and the PS3 and 360 inherited a lot of great ports and cross-gen releases. Which I guess could be true, but like, I don't know. I personally, I mean, not only do I personally have a lot of nostalgia with the PS3 because it's when I really got into gaming, but I just think the inclusion of not only great games but great multiplayer, because this is when multiplayer started popping off. You know, this is when you had your MW2s. You know, you had those experiences. And you don't get like that. That's a perfect example of an experience you'll never get in a Call of Duty game ever again.
Yeah.
No one will ever be able to experience a Modern Warfare 2 lobby ever again.
Yeah. Especially because, not even because of all the moderation now, but even like, just because.
You'll get reported if you say a bad word.
Well, not even that. Like, the thing back then is like PS3 didn't have like parties before, you know?
It was the only way to
So
communicate.
everybody was stuck in that lobby talking with each other.
Yeah. If you wanted to talk, yeah.
Yeah, and now on PS4 and PS5 you just make your own party and no one ever talks in the lobby, so
Yeah, that's true. I definitely think that the PS3 had by far the most, maybe not the PS3, maybe the PS2 is up there, but I would say it had a very diverse library of games. But I would say specifically when it comes to multiplayer as well, because like I said, it was like the kind of the start of it all.
I'd say just the PS2 and PS3 were both golden eras, honestly. Like, just stack them together.
Yeah.
Because the PS2 had a very diverse portfolio of just game types, while the PS3 had also a diverse portfolio, but also, like you said, the multiplayer aspect of it. I think PS3 is also where gaming kind of started becoming more not mainstream, but well, I guess yeah, mainstream, but more
Like
of a social factor.
Yeah,
Yep.
yep.
Rather than just being something you do to pass the time.
Yeah, so. And that 100% has to do with the inclusion of all of these multiplayer features that were added to games. Well, let us know down in the comments below what your golden age of gaming is, but I'm personally sticking with this list and agreeing with it, so.
I think both of them. So that might be a cop-out answer, but yeah.
I think a lot of people will say PS2, and like I could agree with that too. Like PS2 original Xbox era was definitely pretty.
I'd say PS2 because it was like the start of so many beloved franchises.
That is true as well.
And then PS3 for its internet stuff, which like you could say Xbox started with it, but it didn't really take off till like the 360 and PS3. So,
well, I think PS2 would be the right answer, but I'm sticking with PS3. I just have to. I have to.
You must.
I must. I must do that. All right. Well, that's all the topics that we have to discuss this week. I hope everyone enjoyed listening. Let us know down in the comments below what games you've been playing, what your golden era of consoles are, or anything like that. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I don't know. I'm gonna go do something.
I'm gonna go take a piss.
And then head to bed.